Welcome to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. I am Gat, your host. A viewer requested a life purpose analysis. This will be based on the numbers in her name and her birth date. And she also requested the natal chart analysis. So she will get a full analysis of her natal chart. Now, we may do this all in one video. We'll see how that goes. But the first thing we're going to hear is the natal chart, the numerological life purpose analysis. And with these, it's always advised for people to take notes, especially when you get your natal chart. It will be a lot of information, but we do take notes. We go house by house, go relatively slowly, clearly, to make sure people understand. Now, if they have further questions, they can request another service or not. That's totally up to them. So as I said, we'll get started. And the next voice you'll hear is the numerologist.
Hi, Sabrina. Thanks for requesting your free numerology reading here at numerologist.com. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to give you a quick yet deeply revealing analysis of your unique numerology chart based on your given name and date of birth. Sabrina, there are 5 elements that form the core of your chart and that most massively impact your life. They are the life path, birthday number, soul urge, expression, and personality number. And by intimately understanding your numbers, you'll uncover many fascinating truths about who you are, how others perceive you, and the unique opportunities that lay ahead. The most important number in your numerology chart is your life path. It reveals your most fulfilling life direction and the major lessons you're here to learn. It highlights the specific opportunities and challenges you'll encounter and your unique personality traits that will help you on your journey. Your life path is calculated by simply adding up the digits of your date of birth. Your life path number is an 8, and this tells me a lot about you. Sabrina, you are a take charge kind of person. You're passionate, tough, and have tremendous inner strength. You are a born leader and have outstanding charisma that inspires others to take action. Your great judge of character aids you well in attracting the right people to you. Everything you do is larger than life. You are a true visionary and do whatever it takes to achieve your lofty goals. You're willing to take big risks, and because of that, you're more likely than most to achieve immeasurable rewards. When you do experience a challenge, you have the guts and resilience to push forward. You're a true survivor. While you're often accused of being stubborn, impatient, or anti-authority, it's only because you're more courageous and determined than most and don't like getting caught up in the little things. Keep focused on your grand vision while patiently guiding those around you, and you'll effortlessly achieve your life path potential. Next, let's look at what is known as your expression. This is another extremely important element in your numerology chart, as it highlights your natural talents and abilities, many you likely didn't know you had. It's often called the destiny number because it reveals a great deal about your potential and what you're meant to accomplish in this lifetime. While your life path is calculated using your date of birth, your expression is calculated by analyzing the letters of your full name at birth. Why your name? It represents the inheritance of your personal history up to the moment of your birth. Each letter and corresponding number, like a mosaic, combine to form the complete picture of who you are and who you're meant to be. Your name at birth is said to be the blueprint of your potential. To get a free personalized expression reading based on your full name, please enter it above.
All right, I'm doing that now. Okay, he'll calculate, then you'll hear him talking again.
Hey again. I'm so glad you decided to stick around and get your personalized expression reading based on your full name at birth. As you'll see for yourself in just a moment, your expression number, or what is sometimes referred to as your destiny number, is one of the most telling elements in your numerology chart. Unlike your life path number, which uncovers your most fulfilling life direction and the major lessons you're meant to learn along the way, your expression number produces a highly potent and accurate profile of who you are and the magic you put out into the world. It reveals the innate gifts you were born with and predicts your ultimate potential. Your expression number is calculated by adding up all the digits that correspond to the letters of your birth name using the Pythagorean alphabet. It can be a bit time-consuming to do the math by hand, so I took the liberty of calculating and interpreting your expression number for you. Sabrina, based on my calculations, your expression number is 11. And after getting to know you a bit better, it's really no surprise. 11 is the master number of inspiration and intuition. You are a visionary and often see the outcome of circumstances before they happen. This makes you highly creative and someone who always thinks outside of the box. You've probably found that failure only knocks at your door when you feel constrained or stunted in your creativity. A free spirit by nature, you often let your heart guide you in your decision-making. Your greatest gift is your intuition and the way you use it to inspire and empower others. This unique perspective and open expression is the key to your success, so keep it up. Your strong character and individuality can be hard for others to understand. While this can make relationships and collaboration difficult, you're always open to learning from those around you, even if they seem boring, rigid, or mundane, which garners you much admiration and respect from your peers. Continue to be the inspiring visionary you are and account for the fact that others might just see it differently. This harmony will inspire more creativity in those around you and create more connection, happiness, and success in all you do. Sabrina, please know that there is still so much left to explore in your unique numerology chart. And if you'll allow me, I'd like to give you even more insight into your life, relationships, and true purpose by analyzing your soul urge number. Your soul urge number, also called your heart's desire number, represents the inner you. It exposes your hidden motivations, deepest cravings and urges, likes and dislikes. It reveals the true intention behind most of your actions and decisions. In just a minute, you'll discover your soul urge number and meaning. But first, to make sure this reading is as customized and accurate as possible to your current life circumstances, I just need a bit more information from you. Please go ahead and enter it now above. You'll also see that we ask for your email address. This is so we can send you written transcripts of your personalized reading, so you can refer back to anytime you'd like. When you enter your email address, you'll also become part of our thriving community and receive regular updates, special invites, and content from our panel of expert columnists. This is completely optional, but we'd hate to see you miss out on the few surprises we have planned for you. So if you'd like to stick with us, please leave your best email address above. Then, please double check that the information you entered is accurate, and then click the Continue with my free reading button to dive even deeper into your numerology chart.
All right, he is calculating.
I've got all the information I need to complete your personalized numerology reading, and you guessed it, I saved the best for last. Now, a word of caution. The information I'm about to share with you is incredibly intimate and may raise a hair or two. Most people are often shocked at the accuracy of these readings, and I think you will be too after you hear the intriguing truths I've discovered about your personality, hidden motivations, and true purpose. If you choose to listen on, do so with an open mind, and this insight is sure to bring you immeasurable rewards. I'll start by examining your soul urge number. Your soul urge, also called your heart's desire, shows what your soul needs to grow and evolve in life and relationships. Like your expression number, it's derived from assigning numerical values to the letters of your full birth name using the Pythagorean alphabet. Except, in the case of your soul urge, you look only at the vowels. Here's why. Consonants are pronounced with sharp edges and have a definitive beginning or end. They represent your public personality and the traits you outwardly share with the world. On the other hand, vowels are pronounced from free-flowing breath and have softer edges. They represent the true, tender, and often hidden you, and reveal your deepest soul urges, many you likely didn't know you had. The famous Renaissance doctor, translator, and astrologer, Marsilio Ficino, devoted much of his life to studying the incredible ways one's life improves when he or she follows the promptings of the soul. The benefits he encountered were undeniable. So, Are you curious to know what your soul urge says about you? After analyzing the vowels of your full birth name, I've discovered that your soul urge number is 5. Whether you know it yet or not, you have multiple talents, are a gifted storyteller who can charm the socks off anyone. You are fun-loving, adaptable, and full of life. You seek freedom and variety above all else and are constantly trying new things. You have a strong calling to become an entertainer, speaker, or travel guide. While your wide range of interests is definitely a great asset, it can make it difficult for you to focus on one thing as you're easily distracted. You don't like to stay in one place or one job for very long and are always wondering, what's next? It's said that variety is the spice of life, and you like your life very spicy. You have a strong dislike of being held down or forced into a mold of any kind, but it's only because it's your soul's urge to experience life to the fullest. Because you're so adaptable, you can often feel scattered, disorganized, or pulled into any directions. Remember to stay grounded and focused on the things that really matter, and there's no doubt that you'll achieve the fun, variety, and experience your soul craves. When it comes to relationships, your intense desire for freedom can make romance difficult. You prefer pleasure and excitement over stability, so you need a partner who shares your spontaneity and sense of adventure, or else you might avoid commitment altogether. You are incredibly fun to be around and make sure there's never a dull moment, both in and out of the bedroom. But that's not all I've discovered about you. Like an onion, you have many, many layers, and after digging a little deeper into your numerology chart, I can see that you have plenty of unique traits and personality quirks left to explore. Sabrina, I get the sense that there are many responsibilities placed on your shoulders. You have lots of energy and likely have a hard time sitting still. You're a caring and nurturing individual and tend to always be the one others come to for support. Yet, you likely don't get as much praise or pats on the back as you should. I feel you are articulate and a good communicator. You may even know another language. Not perfectly, but you're good with words and learn quickly. I see you as a very committed individual. Once you make a decision, you stick with it. This shows up in your marriage. I sense that you're a one-man type of woman. You are confident, so you have not needed an array of potential relationships to make yourself feel worthy. Once you had your mind set on your husband, that was all you needed, and you gave 110% to your relationship. Family is important to you, and because you married at a young age, I sense that your family, especially your mother, tends to offer a lot of unsolicited advice. In many ways, she still sees you as her little girl and wants to help you avoid the mistakes she made as a mother and wife. It's likely she also married quite young. While you love your husband dearly, he can be quite stubborn and distracted. Like what you tell him goes in one ear and out the other. He just doesn't seem to be as sensitive to detail as you, which can leave you feeling a bit frustrated. I sense that you often have lots of questions running through your mind, like, did I get married too young? And does my husband love me as much as he did before? Is my marriage going to last forever? Don't let this worry you. These questions are completely normal. I see you as having a long, healthy marriage, and as long as you remain the woman your husband married in terms of your mood, personality, quirks, and desires, you will always be the object of his love and affection. I get the feeling that you'll have 2 beautiful, healthy children, and that your 7th year of marriage will be a significant one. I sense that money is a concern for you. While it's adequate and you're usually able to pay the bills, there never seems to be a great deal left over. However, I do feel that by this time next year, your financial circumstances will change for the better. Sabrina, I see you as active and healthy, but you do miss the body you had when you were younger and can be a bit critical or judgmental of yourself. I sense your social life has changed recently. While you're still in touch with your single friends, you've likely found that most of your friends today are in serious relationships, married, or have children. You likely don't have as much free time as you'd like, and it's because you're required to wear many different hats: cook, maid, lover, wife, friend, companion, colleague, and hold down the fort both at work and at home. You always seem to be picking up the pieces for everyone around you. Many of your girlfriends tend to burden you with their problems, expecting that you have all the answers because your life is so put together. You are observant, nurturing, have a good sense of humor, and make an excellent hostess. The truth is, you have the potential to be the best of everything. You will accomplish whatever you want to accomplish in your life, including that secret goal you've had at the back of your mind for a while. So don't be afraid to go after it. This may be hard to believe, but the information I've shared with you over the last few minutes barely scratches the surface of what I can discover about you by digging deeper into your numerology chart.
All right, that information he's speaking on now will be in, he'll send it to your email. So what we're going to do now is enter your natal chart analysis. And of course, we'll start with the first house. I'm going to put this on pause because I'm getting everything ready. And then we'll start to go in. Also, you'll get a free report. And that free report deals all with natal charts, astrology, how they work together, tarot cards. It's a little stuff on there about chakra. All the archangels, the 15 archangels of the Doreen Virtue Archangel Oracle card deck, and how they tie in with astrology, in case you ever get an angel card reading. Explains all the houses of the zodiac as well. All right. This is very interesting. I'm just going to look at your natal chart because I'm seeing a few things. Okay, your EP. Your EP is it's really in the 12th house because I'm going by the degree at 29 degrees. But they put it so close to the border. But when you see that, there's going to be some type of healing. Just give me one moment. There's going to be some type of healing, closure regarding family, possibly the mother, because he was talking about the mother and talking about she gives advice, and you can see it with the Libra. So the reason why I'm pausing, because it kind of like you have to understand all this is intuitive, and I have to pause because sometimes I got to be directed. That stuff is real. A lot of people think it's fake, but that's real. It's all intuition, and you're being led. If you're really intuitive, you're in communication with something higher than yourself, and that's the only reason why you can see this stuff. All right, your third house is ruled by Gemini, but you have Libra there. We're not going to go as deep. What I'm interested in right now is the moon, because the moon is connected to Cancer, and I'm going to explain that because that's basically where I'm being taken with your natal chart. So apparently your mother was giving a lot of advice in your relationships, because you see Libra and you see the moon right there, and you see the third house, which is communications, and a lot of other things, which we will get to. But the only thing is, what I would tell you straight up, just from being around women all my life and being a man, that's not a good place to have in the third house. So the reason why you can't have your mother all up in your business, and believe me, I didn't want to start your chart. This is where I was taken. That's why as soon as I got in, I was like, whoa. So you can't have your mother all up in your business. Now, in the third house is this for a relationship, especially like twin flames, but really any relationship. The third house is Gemini. Now, Gemini, like the man said, the numerologist said, Gemini ain't trying to hang out with nothing too long. Gemini is not really good for a relationship. And Libra will go into the relationship being very idealistic. But then as soon as they see a little bit of reality, then they want out. Or they withdraw. They emotionally withdraw. And you got the moon right there. And then if you're relying on your mother, then she's giving you some bad advice. Because I had to break my younger sister out of that. My mother was giving she meant well, but she was giving my sister a lot of bad advice on marriage and relationship. And she almost lost. The guy engaged her, and then he didn't want to be engaged to her. So I just know my family are very strong, powerful black women, but their pride can be unbelievable. And so she had a nice Southern boy, ran that boy to the ground. And I was there. I seen most of it, what I could see. And he finally got sick of taking her crap, so he gave her the same crap she was giving him and broke her. So now she's sitting there broke. And so then that's when I could finally talk to her. He finally broke that ego, broke that pride. So you might be a goddess, but right now you're in a human body. So you got to learn how to act like a human. So broke her. So then I had a little talk with her about, if you're going to be in a relationship with a man, you have to learn it's a relationship. It's not a dictatorship. So I had to break her down. So then they finally got back together, finally got married, been married now going into 15 years. And also, there were times when he had to counsel her regarding me, because my family made me a target, but that goes back to other stuff I talk about on my other channels. But that was a target based on white supremacy. They were trained from slavery to just hate. So he had to break her out of that, because she was trained to just hate for no apparent reason whatsoever. But that's what she saw going on with my other two people here, and then she started doing it. So now, why was that necessary to tell you? Because you see it right on your chart. You have that moon or that motherly influence and relationship sector, but it's already going to be turmoil because you're in the third house, which is not good for relationships. It's short term. And then you got Lilith. And Lilith can bring the drama as well. So he mentioned it. The numerologist mentioned it. So in your 11th house, you will eventually get some healing, because it's going to be some, which we will be looking at more. Even if I look at when I look at your 4th house, I see Scorpio with Pluto retrograde. So there's been turmoil. You can't get past it. But there will be some healing, some closure with family issues. Cancer, as I describe Cancer, I'm going to also be describing your 4th house. Cancer is teenage to adult education, land and property, possibly real estate, possibly real estate. Your family and your ancestors, the heart, vehicle, and travel. Also, the moon rules Cancer, and that's Imom Kweli. Now, this is the mother, whoever raised you as a mother, and she'll be in your subconscious mind the whole time you're here. But sometimes people sometimes people can't move forward because of things they learn from their mother or their father, and you have to move forward. I have plenty of videos now where I'm talking about that on my other channel. And some people are sticking with me. Some people don't like it. But believe me or not, if you really want to move forward and get healing, you see Chiron right there, you have to learn to readjust any thinking you were given, whether they meant it, whether they were nice. Oh, I don't believe I should say that. You have to deal with that, because otherwise your life and then your kids' life are going to go down that same pattern. Now, when you know psychologists, Sigmund Freud and stuff, they talk about the mother. When you know the movie Psycho, that was all about the mother. So there's a lot of metaphysical stuff there. There's a lot of power there because you're connected directly to the divine feminine. But what people have to realize is that your whole purpose here is to go through this life, learn. It's about karma, all that. You have to meet these things. The 12th house is about karma, it's endings. So it's your responsibility to meet that challenge of overcoming any inconsistencies or incorrect things you were taught, no matter who taught it to you. And this is what I teach, but it takes a strong person to teach this, because your pastors, they just want that money. They may act like they care, but they're not going to go too deep, because they're going to start losing parishioners, losing money, and they're not going to get all deep with it. People are not going to like them. They'll be in trouble. So they're not going to tell you that. And then if you don't know the truth of where your Bible came from, I'm a Bible believer. I'll die for the Bible. But it was in the hands of some wicked people that overthrew what we used to be, the indigenous people, and they gave us this crap. Changed the color of the people, changed everything, and they gave you this crap. So they're not interested in you learning the truth either, because if you learn the truth, you would overthrow them. So now the universe or God is raising up people who are bringing things back. And it's not just me, it's other people all over. So it's the challenge to take the courage and move forward. That's why you see that Leo right there. And that's why your EP is at 29 degrees. What it's trying to tell you is, okay, all this family BS has got to stop at 29 degrees, because that's what 29 degrees means. It's the end. You're getting ready to go into a new beginning, which means you have to be ready to stand as a leader. Because see, the first house is the leader. It's Aries energy, the leader, Aries, bold energy with Leo. So you have to get to the point where things are put in place, because if you don't get things put in place, you're going to keep repeating this cycle of following bad advice. And he kind of said that to you. He already told you that. But the person might mean well. But if it's bad advice, it's bad advice. It's a way to handle certain situations. But if it's bad advice, it's bad advice. It's a situation going on now where a person is getting older and really walking down a path of really self-destruction. And I see it. And I already know what I'm dealing with. This is known this person all my life. So it's me. I am a Leo. So it's me telling people, oh no, we're not going to play this game. And being very firm. But it's motivating other people too. Because some of the reasons why she's breaking down is because they're taking too much from her and not giving anything back. So they got to learn to get their SH, you know what, together. Because it's not all going to boil down on me, because I'm doing enough as it is. And that person's got to get their self together. Because if you're not eating and falling out and all that, then we got to find out what's going on with that. So it takes a lot of lying, courage, and not afraid. Not afraid. You're going to hurt some feelings, but people sometimes they have to learn to back up a little bit. I'm not saying be mean or merciless, but people got to back up, because you won't have a life if you keep letting. And see, in the 12th house, that's what happens. The 12th house is people are always making demands, and you're trying to cater to everybody. And then you martyr yourself, because you have no personality. You have no, because you're always doing something for other people. So the 12th house, you do serve and you do sacrifice, but not that you sacrifice yourself. The best way to help people is to teach them to help themselves. This is how I conduct what I do out here, because you'll have a lot of people that come your way, and they think they're going to dump all their stuff on you. It's not enough money in the world to handle that. So you have to carry your own responsibility. I can help you along the way, but I can't carry it for you. So that's the lion that comes out. And if you were to see a space chart, you would see the true north node in Leo, because right now God is changing things in this universe. If you're reading the news and seeing what's going on, a lot of things are changing in the universe, and God is raising up people that are not afraid to stand up against this beast or this machine that basically threw the people into a low level, low vibrational. So like 440. 440 is a low vibrational. They changed everything. You can study it. They want you at a low vibration. They want you thinking a little bit higher than animals, and then they can manipulate you, because you're not intellects no more, and you're only thinking on low vibrations. Everything's about sex and stuff like that. So they control you that way. But now people are raising up that ain't having that foolishness. And that's why, if you notice, their system is starting to shake. So that is your 12th house. That things will have to be, it's closure, it's karma. Things will have to be addressed so that you can get healing. And that healing will help you move on with your life. Because you have to remember, your life is your life. People mean well, but sometimes the most well-meaning people give you bad advice. Or they're too much in your life. They're too consistent. And they have to back up. So that is your 12th house. Now, first house, Leo. See, Juno's right there. This is how you know what I just said is true. Because she can't get to Juno. Juno is a serious relationship. that little asterisk looks like a little asterisk and a cross. You can't get to a serious relationship until you realize your relationship is supposed to be you and that person. And now, the only advisory I would give you, though, this is in the first house of Aries. Aries is I am. But when you want a serious relationship, you have to realize it's got to be we are. So you have to take that person into consideration. And you can't just think I go, you follow. Because that may not work. And that's why I said I've seen my brother-in-law go through all this. And it's taken a toll to some degree. But he's come back. But you have to understand, when you say relationship, that's what you got to really know what that word means. You have to be able to relate to that person. That person has to be able to relate to you. It's compromising things. So it's good to be a Leo and bold when you're fighting for your relationship. But it's not to be a Leo Aries if you're running over top of people. Leo rules the 5th house. This is all about children, childlike ways, fun, courageous, romantic, very creative. So is your 3rd house, very creative. Those are your 2 most creative houses will be your 3rd and your 5th. The 8th house ruled by Scorpio may be creative as well, but it's creative in a different way, like in a paranormal way. Like Stephen Hawkins, I think his name is, and stuff like that. Or tarot cards and stuff like that. That would be the 8th house of creativity, psychics and things. And so it opposes authority at times. It takes risk. So you might find yourself in a serious relationship with those energies that I just said, because that's what Juno means. Now, I don't always read the degrees. It depends on where it's at and what else is going on, or if I keep seeing the same number. It just depends. But in your case, because of what they're saying, I will be reading the 13 degree Leo and 26 degree Leo. And if you notice in your 1st house, you keep seeing that number 13 or multiples of 13, which means that number, and that's the divine feminine, especially the divine dark feminine, the goddess. So that number is probably in your life and probably has been in your life. All right, give me a moment. "13 degrees Leo." All right. Leo. Unambitious, lazy, and fatalistic character. One contents oneself with what is readily available instead of striving to develop one's intelligence and enhance one's skills. One always chooses the easy way out, and therefore one is looked down upon by one's entourage. Although one is born a rich person, since one is not interested in increasing the inherited wealth, life is most likely to end in poverty. In the image of the weedy wheel. All right, I'm still going to read the other degree before I say anything. 26 degrees Leo. Brilliant, rebellious, and quarrelsome character. This degree warns against violence, whether one is a perpetrator or the victim. Recourse to force to all aggressive means must be avoided at any cost. One ought to make use of one's intelligence and painstaking qualities in order to turn the destructiveness into a productive tool, which would only harvest wheat fields, or whatever they stand for in one's area or action. Now those are the degrees. All right. Now the second house is Virgo. And the second house is ruled by Taurus. So this is a very earthy second house. Your second house concerns your finances, your possessions, and your value system. Now, Virgo is about healing. Virgo rules the sixth house. It's about healing, health, daily activities, service, small children, small animals, co-workers, and subordinates. But Virgo can be very critical, but they don't like to be criticized. And Virgo is very detail oriented. They can find the smallest detail. Any error most people would miss, Virgo will catch it, will pick it up. So you're very critical, very detail analytical when it comes to finances. Now, whether you have finances or not, at this point, I have no idea. We may be able to see further in the chart. Now, back to the third house. We already told you about Libra being idealistic and all those things. So Libra, and another thing about Libra, and Virgo can be that way too. Virgo can be real idealistic, and if you don't meet their expectations, they're idealistic, they start to withdraw on things. So that's not cool for a relationship, because you got to realize, if you're in a relationship, you owe it to that person to be forth with. Everybody's hearing about John Cena and Nikki Bella, and so that was a bad. He was trying to communicate, but I guess he really didn't. At the end of the day, he should have manned up, and I think he meant well. But you're still taking advantage of her. And some people might say, because they even made a storyline out of that at the WWE. Some people will say, no, you're milking him. It's obviously he doesn't want to marry you. Because they had a story angle where the female say he's never going to marry you and stuff like that. So some people might say, well, you're milking him, you're hanging on. It's obviously this guy doesn't want to marry you. Why don't you move on with your life? And he was trying to tell her, but still I blame John Cena. Because John Cena, you got to be a man. And if you're really not going to let that woman get on with her life and find somebody that wants to marry her. That's how I feel. See, I'm not anti anything. But if it's wrong, I'm going to tell you it's wrong. I don't care who it is. So I think he was wrong. I understand all about feelings and all that stuff. But he was wrong because you're milking somebody. And you owe it to that person in a relationship. That's why with me, I've learned that. I'm totally different about my approach to relationships. Because I'm not playing nobody up and ain't nobody playing me out either. So it has to be that way sometime, because all you're going to get is, like, again, I'm just starting to chart off. And that's why sometimes I don't like to do degrees, because, when they say something like that right away, I'm not violent. What are you talking about? And I'm only showing you the degrees. That's what the experts are saying about the degrees. And overall, I can see how that could happen. But we're just getting started in the chart. But what I've seen so far, I can see how it could escalate with the different Leo and Aries energy. Then you got a third party all up in it. It's all kind of stuff. So it's got to take some type of charge. And that's why all this is in the 12th house. Because the universe is saying you would have to take charge, because it's your natal chart, your life. So a little bit of advice here or there, but you got to be able to handle your life. And so they did. They went to all of that, and then they didn't get married anyway. All that time. And then they're not even together, from what I hear. She took the ring off. She's probably gonna start seeing other people. So all of that, but that's a result of not talking in the beginning. It just, that's why I said we do things backwards. We jump into sex, we jump into this, we jump into that. Don't even know the person's middle name. Don't know their favorite color. Don't know jack. And then you wonder why the relationship's got problems that doesn't work out. And then my job is actually, this is my job. This is what I'm supposed to do. Lie to you and just take your money. But actually lose everybody and lose my money because I tell you the truth. And I'm going to keep doing it because it's bigger than this. It's bigger than this. And that's why where I was directed was right to your 12th house because of what I saw. I said, that's a little weird. Why are you doing this? And then it all started. See, your 12th house is almost like Judgment Day. And that's something nobody wants to hear. They want astrology, but they don't realize your 12th house is all about karma. It's the house of reckoning. It's just like Judgment Day. And the 12th house is ruled by Pisces, which is the symbol for the Messiah. So if you think all this doesn't tie in together, if you think it's just a love story or you're going to do whatever you want, you're greatly mistaken. And when I say you, that's anybody. But if I tell you the truth, I get no customers, I get no nada. But if I sat out here and lied and talked about love and Venus in the 7th house and your twin's going to find you and Divine Masculine is calling you, then everybody's listening. So it comes a time when you have to grow up and get out of fantasy land and realize life is going to have its bumps and ups and downs, but we're supposed to personally grow as an adult. Our mother can't do that for us, and nobody else can do that for us. We have to grow as an adult. Going back to John Cena and Nikki, they could have got that stuff straight. John should have been a man and said, Nikki, it's not personally against you. I've already been in a bad relationship. I'm never going to do that again. And if that's how you feel, I don't want to hurt you. And she just would have had to take it any way she could have took it. Or she could have said, listen, John, I'm not going to be hanging around you for 3, 4, 5 years, and you don't do the right thing. I need to know right now, so I can get on with my life. See, that's called maturity and moving on. All right. So that's what you have here. It's going to be a very watery 3rd house. I believe both Gemini and Libra are air signs. So you got a lot of water and air in your 3rd house. Because that moon, and the reason why I'm saying water, because that moon, and right now the moon rules Cancer. The moon, on a tarot card, the moon is connected to Pisces, which is another water sign. The moon is also connected to hidden things and the soul as well. So it might even be secrets, hidden things, or things you might not want a person to know in the 3rd house. But see, that's supposed to be the house of communications. So just give me a moment because I'm trying to see how I want to proceed with this. And you got like 19 and 9, so you keep getting a lot of 9s in your 3rd house. Okay, so the 3rd house is ruled by Gemini. This is young ones, younger education, a very creative house, short distances. If you were to see Gemini in the 10th house, this is a person who goes from job to job, or they might keep a part-time job or something, but this is not a person who's going to have like a long-lasting job. Gemini is just like Aquarius. They want their freedom. They don't mind being in a relationship, but they don't want to be asking a lot of questions. They want their freedom, and they really don't want to go deep. If a Gemini has a basic understanding, that's all it wants to know. It doesn't want to go deep. It'll get frustrated, and Gemini usually won't last in a relationship. So if you have Gemini if you have Libra in your 3rd house, you're probably going to see a breakup or makeup type relationship. And you have a lot of water. You have a lot of water there with the moon. And the Lilith is also an aspect of the moon. They call it the dark moon or the black moon. Now we're going to look at Moon conjunct Lilith. Now this will be dark star astrology. right, give me a moment. I'm going to see if I had this on my file, because I remember this website. Just give me a moment, because I really want to see if I have this. A lot of people don't realize Lilith is one of the most important elements on your chart. All right, with Lilith and the moon represents the mother, but Lilith represents the anti-mother. So that's a rocky third house, I'm telling you right now. You got the mother and the anti-mother. They say the moon here would be like the Black Madonna. And she's an extra potent, and she's a Virgo archetype. Now, what does that mean? She's a Virgo archetype. So that means that the mother may also try to advise on finances as well. So it's too much of a motherly presence in this person's life. And he said that. So you better, a lot of times I don't even be sitting here because I be doing other stuff when he's talking. Because I'm already going to follow up. I already know, I know what I'm doing. So I don't worry about what he's talking about, to be honest with you. Because it's not my chart. It's not my life. My job is to come in with the chart and be very, like I said, you have to understand, since we're talking about mothers, my mother's alive a long time because of me. My mother actually fell out in 2004. Now I won't go into all the details because I got a whole bunch of videos on that. But the mother, the Lilith, the moon, they're all a major part of your life. But you have to be careful. See, it's something you have to meet, and it's a challenge that you have to meet. Now, if you want some references, Psalm 69 is talking about the deep. That's the challenge that David had to go through. He didn't want to. He was screaming the whole time. Because it's not an easy challenge. That's why a lot of these people, their whole lives will be messed up because they don't know how to overcome it. So David had to go to the deep, which is the divine womb. This is all Bible metaphors, Bible symbolism. Psalms 23, he talks about walking through the valley of the shadow of death. I'll fear no evil. So it's kind of like Eve or evil and all this stuff is coming off. But it's metaphysical. If you take it personal, then you're going to get mad and upset. But if you take it metaphysically, you'll understand it. It's going to be a yin and a yang. It's going to be a darkness and a light. And this is metaphysical. It's bigger than you. This is why the faster we stop saying love and light, if we're not really going to mean love and light, and the faster we stop using astrology just to find out about dating and sexing and career, you find out your real purpose and why you're here, the better off your purpose in your life is going to be, because you're finally doing what you are, what your purpose is. And that's my job. And I can't back down from it. It's a universal obligation. So it comes a time when mama has to realize, I appreciate everything you've done, but I have to move on with my own life. Because they're implying that even wherever we see Virgo at, she's in that house as well. So anyway, so 2004 was a turning point for me, for the family and everything. But I know my family, been around my whole life. So strong points, weak points, everything. Plus I was forced to be the father of this family at an early age. So the point was, you have to let people know, oh no, that's not happening over here. Because if not, they'll run over top of you. And my father said they'll send me to an early grave and cry at the funeral. And they did. And then, unfortunately, my brother spent some time in the crazy house. So I know how this can be. He's out now. He's fine. Everything's cool. But I know how this can be. This is not easy. And that's why I have to teach the way I have to. Whether I lose, whatever. I put my trust in God. Because I would never want to hunt money, or I don't want to act like I'm happy and all that just to take somebody's money. I think that's scheming. Where I come from, that's a low life. I'm a true Jersey dude. I'm a true Jersey dude all the way. So the anti-mom, or the mother and anti-mother, I think is her as well, because she knows deep inside, she knows it's too much. And this is your communication house, your third house. So I don't know if you've ever talked to her or whatever, but remember where your moon is, it goes right back to Cancer. And Cancer is in your 12th house of reckoning, and you see healing, because they're basically telling you not really going to get the healing you need until you address that situation. And you may have already done it, or maybe haven't done it, but that's basically what they're telling you. Because this presence is just too much. It's kind of like when you're trying to have a wedding and your mother makes it all about her, and she's crying and all, trying to get all up in the wedding and stuff, all kind of crazy stuff. It's too much. Like, this isn't your wedding. Stop trying to make my life about you. And you just have to find a way to do it, because you're not trying to hurt people's feelings. But anyway, so I said, so she's still alive since 2004, because she really almost should have checked out then, my mother. And now, in more recent time, for whatever reason, she's going through a whole lot of stuff. And so now, let's just say the family's been alerted. I got a whole bunch of videos on it on my other channel. But the family's been alerted, and everybody's got to do something. Because it's too much. And I don't, like, literally, I don't really think nothing's wrong with her. But she's a master manipulation. Always has been. But it comes a point when you got to back up, because other people have to live too. Everything can't be about you. So that's the Leo. That's the Leo inside of me. So they're trying to tell you to lose. They're telling you to use your Leo in such a way that you better your life and not make it worse. So I don't know what's going on. Like, I just went by the degree, but the degree was saying violence and all that. I don't know. I don't know you personally. I only see what the degree says. And usually I don't personally comment on it till I see it. Once I see it, I have a universal obligation to speak what I see. And if the person is mature enough, they can deal with it. And if they're not, that's just not my problem, because I have to. This is about the universe. This don't have nothing to do about, oh, how much money am I going to make and all that crap. This don't have nothing to do about that. Even I got a twin flame too. That's been going on for many, many years. That's how I got involved with all this stuff. I mean, I was already involved with astrology and stuff, but it was really my twin flame stuff that pushed me deeper into metaphysics. But at the same time, everything has a place. Like, I would never worship my twin flame. That's like idolatry. God comes first. It's just getting your priorities straight. And then when you get those straight, you'll better deal with everything. So they also say this can be the virgin and the whore. And again, when a lot of times when people grow up, and maybe their mother is really, or their father, their parents are really kind of strict on them, that's what happens. That's why some of the most freakiest females are church girls. And they could, in some ways, they could make a female that's been having sex since she was little look like a novice, because a church girl just got that more freaky side, and it's more deeper, and they're used to hiding stuff, and they know how to be manipulative, and what time their parents go to bed, and coming through the window, and this way more sneaky. So that's what they're talking about, the Lilith and the moon, and the whore and the virgin. Because this is a person they didn't stand up for themselves, and they had this domineering presence, so they had to find a way around it, and it's through sneakery and stuff like that. But that's not good, and that's why I said even you can't, because you're going to take those same traits in a relationship, and I already said that about the secrets and stuff. Because again, if you wouldn't like it being done to you, then don't do it to somebody else. And again, it's going to be karma. Whatever we do, it's going to come back sooner or later. All this is universal law. That's why I said people would do better if they used astrology and the universe for the correct reason and not for selfish reasons. Because all they're going to do is get manipulated by snakes and people that don't really care about them. So like I said, the bottom line, when you go into a church, the main things going on, the pastor's making sure he's getting paid, because usually the church and the salary is paying him. He usually doesn't have a job. Usually. There might be some exceptions, but usually not. So his main agenda will always be his paycheck. And that's why a lot of churches bring bands in and try to make it more sociable to get more money. And when they're passing that plate around, they got all the music playing or something, or they give you some long ass sob story or something. So it's all manipulation. It has nothing. At the end of the day, it really has nothing to do. Like they said, Jesus Christ would be kicked out of most churches if he came back. Just like the last time he came, he was kicked out of Jerusalem and put to death. So the universe don't play like that, and that's why people are given an opportunity. That's why you have all these problems, because you'll go running to a higher source. And then these people have a universal obligation to tell you the truth, but they're just like these preachers, a lot of them. Then they're just worrying about pay. So these people keep running like they're like sheep going to the slaughter, because they're not getting the advice they should get. They're getting some creepy, low-level, basic advice that usually won't work anyway. So now when you see the moon with Lilith, this is the priestess, and it deals with the occult too. Because remember, that the moon does deal with souls. A lot of people don't know that. It deals with things that are hidden, but it deals with the soul as well. And the moon is very psychic. So this is probably a very psychic house, meaning it could be a very psychic person. Because a lot of times you go in to, if you feel trapped in by parents or a parent, you do go in, you go internally, and that's going into that world of, it's the 8th house, 12th house. You may not literally be in the 8th or 12th house, but still, that's where you're going. All that's about secrets and privacy and solitude. This person will have an offbeat sense of humor. They find their niche in the absurd or surreal. Woman and the goddess have a huge influence in their life. They say they were either brought up by a single mother, or their mother was quite bewitching and manipulative to the point it felt like she was inside them. And that's what's going to happen. So I feel good to be doing this natal chart, because that's what I've been talking about on my channels. And see, once I know I'm right, I keep talking despite what people think, because it had to come out. And it got to the point that even my younger sister had to tell her, okay, enough's enough. Like, okay, cut the melodrama, mama. Cut the melodrama, mama, because you're getting on our last nerves. Cut the melodrama. And no, we wouldn't say that if we didn't have proof. It's just too much attempts to put all attention on her. F your life. This is about me. So you gotta finally like, oh no. I don't think you done lost your mind, woman. There will be a glorification of the feminine. In unenlightened men, this can veer as a misorganistic, as they detest feeling so behold in the devouring mother. So the man, see, this is why now it's going back to the violence. The man can alternate between worshiping or abusing the female. See, now we're getting to the underlying fact of what they said in the first house. Women will simply feel happiest in the bosom of the goddess, which could result in them rejecting marriage and a husband altogether. So then when you see that, wherever you see that Aquarius at, see, Aquarius usually means an alternative lifestyle. So it could be gay, it could be lesbian, or it could be a secret lover. Especially when you're dealing with Moon and Lilith and all this stuff. So he said you might have 2 children, but they're saying sometimes with this placement that it may not be children. Or if you have children, they may not be raised the correct way. Because any child should be raised with love. That's the correct way. And you're really trying to help them understand life. You don't have children to clean your house. That could be part of their jobs, but that's not why you have them. And you don't have children to beat the crap out of them. So, I'm just saying because these are things I've seen in my life. They say this person might even have a great difficulty conceiving children. And they say childbearing may not happen naturally for them, or it may not come at all. So now they're saying this is the archetype of the witch and the crone. Now let me explain. The divine mother comes in 3 females. One, she is the young girl, the child girl, female, or the teenage girl. Just like I said, I went outside yesterday, and I'm just highly spiritual person, and you just see things. Like I can perceive things way better because I just know what's going on. Like I could be in a room and I could tell you which person's gonna start some shit with me because I've been doing this forever. I'm not no young dude. I've been on this planet way past 40 years. Seen the same. It's like a badass movie over and over again. And that's why Solomon said nothing's new under the sun. Same old thing under the sun. So I move certain ways. So yesterday I went to go outside. Now there's a window in the kitchen. So if anybody was out there, I would have seen them through the window. And then there's like a wall to the door. But there's a wall. But I checked the door, checked the window. Nothing. As soon as I walk outside, I can hear out of my ear is somebody over there. So I'm saying, well, who the heck is over there? Because see, my neighbors stay quiet. Only once in a while you have activity in this neighborhood. But you do have like drugs and drug dealers and stuff come in and come up, but the cops get them out of here. So I'm wondering who's creeping on the side. And so that's what it was. So these are messages from the divine female. And I see them all the time. It's no coincidence. Because they should have, especially me double checking like that, it should have been nothing over there. But they're still there. So they come as the crone. That's the young female or the teenage female. They come as the woman. She could be 30 or 40, anything like that. And then the old lady is the crone. So they said Moon conjunct Lilith is perfect for midwives, devoting themselves to nurturing other women and their children as a substitute of their own. They said if a man has Moon conjunct Lilith, they're going to have mother issues with women, and they're going to have a high sexual, but they hide it. So they say, I think a woman with Moon conjunct Lilith, they don't think they're sexy in the slightest, but others are intrigued by their sultry and somewhat coy mystique. So they said the black moon, which is another name for Lilith, can be surreal, loony, have a loony or dry sense of humor, and they yield rather ludicrous domestic arrangements. They don't give a fig what impression they make on the rest of the world. So their imagination has a free reign to go wherever it wants to. So I've been telling you about your creative houses of creation and all that. So if you got a good imagination like that, you should cash in on it with your creativity. And that's why that's going on in your 3rd house. Because like I said, that's one of your most creative houses. Alright, so we already explained what the 4th house is. Ruled by Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon. Now, Pluto retrograde means something would be taken away out of nowhere. And it may have already happened in life. It may happen more than once, but something Significant will be taken away, but the reason why it's being taken away is to teach you to move on, be self-reliant, because maybe you're relying on it too much. So what I'm really interested in with Pluto retrograde, we're going to go over that again as far as past life. So remember, well, I'm going to read that anyway. But Scorpio and Pluto rules Scorpio. But it's all about transformation, regeneration, death, and rebirth. But even you'll experience outside forces like government upheaval, weapons, and war. So they definitely said if Pluto retrograde is in your chart, you face issues of control. And that's in the fourth house. And like we said, the fourth house is ruled by who? Primarily Cancer, the moon, which is the Imom Coeli, which is usually the person who raised you as in a motherly capacity. So it's going to be issues of control here. You can also hold on to relationships, or somebody might hold on to you so tight that it can become suffocating to you and others. And this type of person won't let the past relationship go. And I tell you, that's the most disgusting thing. If you're taking somebody on a date and they keep talking about somebody who, oh, well, you know, even though he's with somebody now and he's married now and I'm always going to love him. And if he was to call me now, I'll probably go back to him. And so, you know, this person's not ready to move on. Now, me, I would kind of like jolt him into reality. The dude's married, he ain't coming back. You better look at what's with you instead of always wondering what's behind you. Because sometimes that's necessary. Like I said, I've been around women my whole life, and I just know certain things to be true. Because they're going to stay in that emotional zone until something comes. And that's what this is. This is what Pluto's going to do. Pluto's going to smack the person to where they need to be according to their divine purpose right now. Their life purpose is your divine purpose because it's your purpose that came from God or the universe. You can't separate the two. And that's the mistake people are making out here. They try to separate something God's done, and you can never be happy with that. You're always going to be running and chasing and going somewhere trying to get answers. And sometimes the answer's right in front of you. So this is why Pluto comes, Pluto retrograde, to won't take it away. Where you're being forced to accept your reality and not linger on to something that's not really part of your life, not your life purpose, moving ahead. Maybe when you were younger it was, but not moving ahead. Not in that capacity. They could always be in your life, but not in that capacity of leading your life. You're supposed to lead your own life. So they said from a past life perspective, you were probably ostracized from your family community or exiled from your home country. You may have been the scapegoat for the community and you stood alone for bad deeds that perhaps you didn't even commit. These past incarnations have left you feeling mistrustful of others, especially those close to you. He should have put an S there, incarnations. He didn't do that. So you have to learn how to not allow yourself to be manipulated. And you have to learn how to have your own relationship with trust. Because Scorpio, who's ruled by Pluto, can be a very suspicious sign anyway. But you have to learn trust if your personal relationship is gonna be beneficial for both people. You have to learn trust. And they even tell you that some people you may have to learn to avoid. It just depends. You might be able to talk to them in this area, but not in that area. These are things you have to learn in life. But most of all, you have to learn how to believe in yourself and trust in yourself. So that's Pluto retrograde in Scorpio. Again, another watery house, Scorpio, the most powerful zodiac sign. Can also heal. Most intense zodiac sign, powerful, can heal. Psychic abilities to know stuff they shouldn't be able to know. But whenever you're dealing with a water sign and Scorpio, be careful, because you can have problems with spirits, and you can even be possessed because of the water sign. Like if you see Cancer in the 8th house, or Scorpio is ruled by Cancer, Scorpio rules the 8th house. So if Scorpio is in your 4th house that's ruled by Cancer, or Cancer in the 8th house, you can have problems with demonic harassment, evil spirits harassing you, or even possession. So you have to be careful with what you're doing. That's why I said always deal with experts till you learn what's going on. And also, there's tons of information out here on YouTube about freeing your house from spirits and freeing yourself. Just got to type it in the search engine. And also, I had to walk in the spirit on my other channel. Let's say if you went to the spiritual channel, it's a video on how to walk in the spirit as well. Just like here on planet Earth, you got good neighborhoods, you got bad neighborhoods. You can walk down street A and have no problem. You can walk down street B and might get robbed, beat up, or worse. You have to. It's the same way with the so-called unknown. You have to be very careful. You just don't go into the unknown and not having no idea, because it's people in there. They might not have a fleshly body like you, but they still got power, and you may get more than what you're looking for when you go in there. And that's why you deal with experts and make sure you know what you're doing before you go in. So when you deal with your natal chart and astrology, you can start to find out why. Like if you say, "Oh, I like women. I try guys, it just doesn't work. I like women." If you're a female and you're saying that, it could be because you have a moon conjunct Lilith, a Lilith conjunct moon, and it could be other reasons like we're learning here. Because a lot of times it might not even be the guy's fault. It's just in your chart. Or it could be. It could be a metaphysical reason why it is his fault that's pushing you. There's reasons for everything. But what I'm saying, you could really get the answers if you really want them. But some people, they're more in the feelings. They act like they want the answers, but they really just want you to talk to them, listen to them, and just jerk them for the cash and keep it moving. And that's why these people are so successful out here on YouTube. But if you really want to find the reasons, that's what I do. All right. So now when I'm going to read this list of what's in the 8th house ruled by Scorpio. Very long list. But these are all possibilities, because there are definitely power struggles. Not everything I read. Not everything I read, but a lot of this was going on in that family. And you have to understand, whenever you see Scorpio in the 4th house, you're dealing with soul families. So these people are people you've had lives with before. And now you're doing it again. I used to have a garbage route back in the 80s. And looking back over those years, now that I know so much about metaphysics, I know for a fact that I probably may have lived over there at one time. Because a lot of those street names and names of my family members and stuff like that. And I met this one female, because we were all out. I was in this religion, and we used to go out and be preaching, going door to door. And it's one female. Like the women was just giving me a hard way to go. And but it was one female that really threatened to beat me up. But she reminded me of my sister, because that's how my older sister was real tough. And this female really reminded me of my older sister. She wasn't scared. She threatened to punch me in the face. She told me she was on a period and I better watch. Because they just made me out to be a bad person when I was nothing like that. But you women can be so mean at times. Doesn't mean I hate you. I'm just being honest. If it was a guy doing it, I would say the same thing. But it is what it is. So I knew to stay away from her because I thought she was crazy. I said, this woman is about to punch me and feels that. But she was young. She was like in her 20s because I was in my 20s. So we weren't, I think she may have been a year or two older than me, I think. But we weren't, our age difference wasn't that different. So when I saw her at the next congregational meeting, whatever side she was on, I went to the other side. And she goes to the other side, I go to the other side. And then she came over to me. She said, you're scared of me, aren't you? And like, I'm not scared of nobody, but no, I don't want to get punched in the face. So I didn't know what to say. So then she apologized. I've been on this planet so long. If you knew how many times nobody apologizes. She apologized for it. She told me she was on her period. She's sorry. And me and her became like best of friends. And everybody let us hang out. Like we were always hanging out. But we was always in ministry. Because she was married. But I was always in ministry with her. We would be in ministry late at night and stuff. But we were real cool. And then I got with somebody. I had my own apartment. And she used to come over there all the time. But then she had a little baby. And the little baby died. That was real sad. And once that baby died, that changed her. But all this stuff I'm trying to tell you, reason why I'm telling you these events, is because this is all so, like I probably knew her in a, so, because like I said, even a woman I was with was not jealous of her. Like everybody let me and her be together. Even the husband, he got a little pissed off, but he still let it happen. Like nobody, no elder came up to us and said, hey, don't you think you guys are getting a little too close? But we always hung out. There was nothing going on, but we were always together. And she used to be over my house and everything. So this is how the soul stuff goes. And the little baby. And that's where I met her. That day we had that fight. That was where it was my garbage route. But I believe that whole area was mine at one time. Because all the different names of my family names and all kind of stuff. I got family in Virginia. Even on them streets, it's names from Virginia down there. On that street, all over. So this stuff is bigger than just, oh, where's my love? And why does my twin? And all. And you're being told by the universe to wake up. And that's why I said, if they don't wake up, if they keep the silliness, the universe is going to start to shake them up. Because you're either going to wake up or get shook up. And that's what Pluto retrograde does. It comes to take something to make you wake up. And if you understand, her chart is highly Leo. And I'm a Leo. And if you look at the space chart, the transit chart, for today, you're going to see the North Node in Leo. Because the universe is telling Leo to tell these people the truth and don't be afraid. And that's why you got a Jesus Christ, Lion of Judah, because that's what he did. So it's serious. It's not a joke. It's not just, Chloe. This ain't just Chloe the psychic. This is real. So now I'm going to read this 8th house. But there's always going to be some type of sad death or murder and stuff like that. And this is stuff we'll never fully understand. But even with Jesus Christ, what was that? That was a sad death, a crucifixion, a murder. And as soon as he was born, what did they tell you? Oh, taxes. That's the 8th house. They were showing you that he had lived before. This is a rebirth. The 8th house. Even on the 8th day, the circumcision. So they're telling you all this stuff that I'm teaching you. That's why I said these devils stole everything and gave us this watered down crap to make you worship them. That's why people that are not that color, all of a sudden you're worshiping the Jesus that's not that color. It's a mind trick. It's like when I see Ronald McDonald's, I think of wanting to go to McDonald's and get a burger. So when I see Jesus Christ, I think of white supremacy. You can't separate it. And the people will get mad when you tell them the truth. But that's not his color. You've been manipulated and it's a lie. And even the Bible tells you to cast down any lie. Anything that's standing in your way of the truth, whether it's Ma Dukes, whether it's who, they got to be taken down. Doesn't mean you got to be mean or abusive. But they have to be moved out of your way because you're never going to get your divine calling if you keep letting people bully you. And what did I tell you earlier? The hatred they had to me, I never did nothing to any of these people. But it was based on white supremacy. Where they taught the women how to hate their own men. And you can still see it a lot today. Not all of them, but you can see it. And it's a bad program that has to be broken. Now this is the 8th house. Everything that's in the 8th house. Secrets, sexual matters, mysteries, doubt, accusations, suspicions, and supernatural, psychic abilities, internal plotting, internal indignation, conspiracy, vengeance, revenge, anxiety, esoteric knowledge, forbidden knowledge, hidden knowledge, obsession, addictions, compulsion, power, power struggles, manipulations, power manipulations, abuse, greed, lust, compulsion, behavior, compulsive behavior, stalking, codependencies, jealousy, intense watery emotions, arguments, debates, tauntings, revenge, fear, intensity, psychic abilities, great transformation, high sexuality, doubt, debt, taxes, IRS, legal matters, lawsuits, inheritances, law breaking, shared resources. So shared resources means that in your fourth house, there was some type of shared resources, but you have to be careful because wills and inheritances is also Scorpio, which is supposed to be the eighth house. So when you see that in the eighth house, it's a indication that maybe even fights and feuds, family feuds over money. Somebody dies over money and possessions, finances, business, karma, other people's money. And see, you got karma in your fourth house ruled by Cancer because of Scorpio, but then you got karma in your 12th house because that is a karmic house, and you still got Cancer there again. So you have a lot of karma, which is why you should be careful. And that's why I try to tell you, I'm using this as an example, so it has nothing to do about your chart. But if I say, oh, I'm a lesbo, oh, I'm a homo, I don't care. It's what I want to do. But you don't never look at the reasons why. I don't care about the reasons. This is why I did. And a lot of people that become that way, they weren't that way. I got a lot of friends that went gay. They wasn't that way when I knew them. They got hooked up. Some of it, you going to take an oath. You take an oath, then you got to bend over, or some other crazy reason. Or some guys like females, and the females are freaky, the guys get freaky, but they didn't start out that way. But once they become that way, they act like, oh, this is the way I've always. No, you wasn't. No, you wasn't. So I'm trying to say you got to find these reasons out, because why? You're hearing on your chart, you keep hearing about karma, the day of reckoning, judgment day, the 12th house, which is the final house. So all these are warnings to get that stuff together so you know what's going on. Because that's why everything I'm reading is for the 8th house. But your 8th house is also your 4th house because of Scorpio. And then they take your 4th house and put it in the 12th house of reckoning and karma. Meaning you're going to pay for it. So to think you're not going to pay for it, that's going against me, who's an expert in what I do. And then you're going against the universe that gave me my assignment. So you go figure. But see, I'm a little bit more rational. Like if I know a bully's outside, I'm not necessarily going to go outside if I'm not looking for a fight. Because we can all talk. Everybody talks that tough guy talk until it really happens. And then all of a sudden it's help me Jesus, help me Jesus. Jesus is helping you right now. 12th house, the fish man. He's the fisher of men. So Jesus is helping you right now. So you choose to listen or you don't listen. All I can do is teach you what's on your chart. Whatever it is, good or bad, I got to teach you. I got to give it to you. And then you can make that final decision, however you want to deal with it. And people can keep running, but you can't run from Judgment Day. And I try to tell people, the more you run from hell, the more you're running into hell. See, the whole thing with hell, you got to stand your position and start to make changes. It's called repentance. And that's how you change, and that's how you escape all the things that are coming. So just because God puts you in the Garden of Eden and puts a big old tree with an apple, that doesn't mean you eat it. Because if he told you not to eat it, you're going to go, well, why did he put it here then? Why did he put it's the biggest tree in the garden? How come I can eat everything but that fruit? I shouldn't have said apple. I should have said fruit. Why can I eat everything but that fruit? I don't understand. Why would he put this tree? I'm going to eat it anyway. And then you get yourself in a whole lot of trouble. He told you don't eat it. Yeah, he did. Did he set you up? Yes, he did. But you still fell for it, and now you're going to pay. So that's how this really works. The more we realize it, the better off we'll make better decisions. Now getting back to the 8th house. Watery intense, watery emotions, arguments, debates, tauntings, revenge, fear, intensity, psychic abilities, great transformation, high sexuality, doubt, debt, taxes, IRS, legal matters, court. Now remember when Jesus was born, they had to go way out of town because of taxes for a consensus, but it was based on for taxes. We need to know how to tax you people. We need all of you to come down and get registered. Debt, taxes, IRS, legal matters, lawsuits, inheritances, law breaking, shared resources, finances, business, karma, other people's money. So this is all going to be going on in your 4th house, other people's money. The soul, reincarnation, afterlife, birth, death, resurrection, rebirth, regeneration, rejuvenation, animalistic behaviors, freaky down and dirty behaviors. And that goes back to those church girls who you think they're so nice and everything else, but they know how to get down and they know how to do it even more dirtier and more worse than the females that's out there doing it all the time. Behavior, psychological situations, studies, research, knowledge, forbidden knowledge, hidden knowledge, investigations, investigators, managers, agents, addicts, addictions, drugs, alcoholism, other worlds, creepy crawlies, other dimensions, science, higher sciences, holistic healing, spiritual healings, alternative medicine and internet, long distance, advanced technology, alchemy, metaphysics, sacred geometry, things that are forbidden, taboo, astrology, knowledge, hidden knowledge, aliens, higher life, deceived persons, astroplaning, telekinesis, telepathy, dreams, interpretations, animals, enemies, Halloween, the divine womb, deities, tarot cards, higher thoughts, inheritances, loans, banking, animals, pregnancy, woman's body, and finances. Now, archangel cards would more so be in the 12th house. Tarot cards would more so be in the 8th house, or in your case, the 8th house and the 4th house, ruled by Scorpio. So, when they said Moon conjunct Lilith, they were saying when it might not be a pregnancy or a difficult pregnancy. But then the numerologic, excuse me, one moment, my mouth is dry. Numerologist expert, he said it may be at least 2 children. And in these, they're saying that because Scorpio's in the 4th house, it may be some type of pregnancies or changing on the body to the pregnancy. And that's kind of what that guy said. He said about the body changing. So that's all going on in the 4th house, which is affecting these other houses we already talked about. 14 degrees Scorpio. Let's see what that says. Lazy, conceited, fatalistic character. One has the mentality of a freeloader and does not hesitate to claim other people's work as one's own. One keeps the whole world responsible for one's misfortune instead of learning the skills required for making a living. Now we leave your 5th house. Again, Sagittarius in the 5th house at 28 degrees. So let's look at that first. 28 degrees Sagittarius. Okay, in the AC, the ascendant is where the sun was over the horizon when you were born. EP is where the sun was over the ecliptic when you were born. But now, 28 degrees Sagittarius, childish, unstable, timid character. Success can be achieved in modeling, coaching, or attending to the needs of wealthy people. Elegant sports, such as golf or horse riding, are also very favored. Should the natal chart concur, there may be a disease affecting the brain. So keep an eye on your brain, because that was interesting they said that. See, don't be afraid. This is what I try to tell you. My older sister, she had a lot of issues that should have been dealt with, but they were never dealt with. She was well protected by my mother. And she had a lot of health problems. See, this is all Scorpio. But she could have dealt with a lot of that stuff better. But instead of somebody telling her, listen, we're going to get you into some counseling, and they wouldn't do that. This is what I'm trying to tell you. People are mad at me because they say I sound stressed. Listen, a lot of y'all are on your way to hell, and that's just a fact. I'm trying to stop you. Stop trying to make everything like you're still in 3rd grade. It comes a time when you have to grow up. Like this says childish, unstable. It comes a time when you have to grow up and take responsibility for your actions. So, nothing wrong with seeing a psychologist. Nothing wrong with getting checked out. If it's going to make you a better person, Why wouldn't you want a better relationship? Why wouldn't you want your kids to be happy? Why does everything have to be arguing and crazy stuff and breaking up and sleeping around and getting back together and doing it all over again and setting this terrible example for the children? And then they grow up doing the same thing. So that's why I said, when you get the information correctly, you'll find out what the universe is really saying. But you say, oh, I don't care about all that. I just want to know, where's my twin? What about my relationship? I don't want to go. F that guy. I'll go over here. This psychic talks to me like I'm a child and tells me about love and happiness. It's just around the corner. The divine masculine is calling me. The divine feminine is calling me. Oh, Venus, blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada. And I feel good. And that's all I'm caring about. But when that judgment hits, you're not going to be saying that. You're going to be saying, I wish somebody had told me. Oh, why didn't somebody help me? Because again, when you're on that deathbed, and I've stood over a lot of deathbeds, when you're on that deathbed, you're not going to be saying all that silly stuff. You're going to be wishing you did go to a psychologist. You're going to be wishing you took care of yourself better. You're going to be wishing a whole lot of different stuff. So it's nobody else's responsibility for your life. And that's where we make a mistake. We think somebody else is supposed to grab us and show us, or if I just got a good woman, that would help me be a good man. Or if I just got a good man, I would be a better woman. You may never get that. And you just saw Pluto retrograde is coming to take stuff away because they're trying to force you to realize it's up to you. And we can do it because we can do it. Like when you say someone like my mother, she's been all over the world. She's been on planes, boats, buses, you name it. She loves to go, loves to travel. But then when it comes to walking from one room to another, if she can get you to do it for her, she's going to do it. Very manipulative. And then there finally comes a time when you have to start saying back up. You're getting a little too crazy with this. And this particular time, even my sister concurred. Okay, getting a little too crazy with this. Got to back it down. So somebody has to tell you. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. My sister happily married because of me. Because it comes a point when you have to tell people. Girls can't just have fun all the time. Plus, you're not a girl no more. You're a grown-ass woman. I'm a grown-ass man. Time to grow up a little bit. No, don't get me wrong, because I like to have fun too. But get yourself together so you ain't got to worry about having no diseases of the brain or all that other stuff. Because I'm trying to tell you, all this stuff is worked out metaphysically. God is going to put you in the garden with that tree, the biggest tree in the garden, the most beautiful tree with this fruit. But he told you better not eat it. But he sets you up to tempt you. Now you'll say there's a scripture that says God doesn't tempt. But he does tempt. He already told you, I'm going to prove you in the wilderness. That's what he said to Israel. That means I'm going to test you in the wilderness. When Jesus got baptized in Matthew chapter 3, the Holy Spirit, the same Holy Spirit that came down like a dove, took him in to be tempted of the devil. That's Matthew chapter 4. So you are being tempted. Jesus was tempted. You even heard the temptations of Christ. So to think God don't test you or tempt you, you're out of your mind. Don't go to just one scripture to support what the whole Bible is saying is one way. Don't go to one scripture and say no. See, that's what a weak person does. They try to find a way out. You can't do that. And I'm going to tell you again, even though I'll lose friends out here on YouTube, all of us are going to stand before who I'm talking about. It's in your 12th house. That's the day of reckoning. The day of karma, where you did bad, now bad is going to come back. You broke somebody's heart, and now something's going to happen to you. The laws of karma, the 42 confessions of Mayat, the laws of Mayat, I should have said, is don't make a woman cry needlessly. Like if you break a woman's heart, you got a problem with the universe. But it's the same way if you broke a man's heart, because a lot of men get their heart broke. So we got to wake up. We got to stop letting this beast dumb us down and make us a little higher than animals, where it's all about sex and sexy and all that and all this hellbound stuff. You got to wake up. Because you can't run from hell. The more you run from hell, the more you run into hell. It's just the way it is. Now, I don't know why. Usually when you get to 28, but I'll let you know now, those degrees of 28, 29 can mean finalities, but they can also mean like addictions, whether alcoholic addictions or drug addictions. Only that person would know that by the chart. Only that person would know these things. And some people say, oh, I'm not an addict and stuff like that. Because I used to drink a lot. I never got to the point where I became addicted to alcohol. But I did drink a lot. But there was always messages coming from God. Like I was at a hotel one time. And I heard these bells ringing. in the church. It was a big old church across the street. So I said, I'm going to go in that church and see, because I was always going to different churches. I was always doing that. So I said, I'm going to go in that church. And when I went in there, it was an Alcoholic Anonymous meeting. It wasn't even a church service. The bells just happened to be ringing. But the service that was going on in that church was alcohol. So there was always little things like, so I would always say, well, I'm not really an alcoholic and blah, blah, blah. I'm not like my father or my sister, blah, blah, blah. But I did drink. I did drink a lot. But when I stopped, I stopped. But still, God was letting me know, whether you think you're an alcoholic or not, you still got a problem with alcohol. And then one time, I worked at this telemarketing. Well, it wasn't telemarketing. It was a call center. But I did work at a telemarketing before, 13 years previously. And there was a lot of drinking there and a lot of crazy stuff going on. So then when I got in that place, the people were doing the same thing. So God let me know quickly, do not drink nothing. You know, I was riding down a road, same road I had problems with in 97. And all these cops came riding by at the same time. And they were the same cops that got me that night. This is like 1997 or so. 95, 97, around that area. About 97. And God was reminding me of that. Don't take no alcohol. And not only did that, but it was a dude that worked there named Evan. And me and Evan started on the same day. And Evan was like an angel. He was like an angel in human form. Because I used to read a whole lot of books. Little tracks, 32 books from our Discovery series. And one day I walked in and Evan tried to tell me, he said, this is your book. And I looked at it, I said, nah, that ain't my book. He said, I'm pretty sure it's your book. I said, nah, I don't think so. But I have all my stuff marked. So then when I looked, I said, it is my book. And I went back, he said, I know it's your book. And then another time, because they was all going to strip clubs and stuff. So one time I walked past him, he was saying something. So I said something about dollars. I was cracking a joke. Because everyone was going strippers, and he had dollars. So I walked past him, I said dollars. And then when he looked at me, he went scriptures. Like, that's not for you. Like, I'm not for you. So it was kind of funny because all my life it's always been gangsters that kept me on the path that I'm on. It was always gangsters. When I was in the street, the gangsters took me under their wing. And they've always been very protective of me. Even when I got older, some of these gangsters was younger than me, but they always was protective of me. So God has a way of telling you what your purpose is. Now, some people are hard-headed and they don't want to listen, but these are the same people that are going to be burning in hell. And then I'm not supposed to tell you that either. I'm just supposed to take your money. So I can only wake you up and then you got to make your own decision what you're going to do with it. When I say you, I'm talking about anybody listening. But it's on your natal chart and they're trying to tell you over and over again. All right. So now, again, another highly psychic person. When you see the fifth house, believe it or not, the fifth house, especially with Sagittarius, this is a person that can really, know what's going on, not just on the earth, but in the universe, especially with Sagittarius. Now I just figured something out. See, a lot of this reading that sounds negative, it might be her twin. It might not be her. Cause see how that's that cross is your vertex, which means your soulmate. Now your soulmate could be anybody in your soul family. Your twin soul is the same soul, but two different bodies. So that's the difference between a twin soul, which is your twin flame, and your soulmate. But the vertex can mean an important event in your life or an important breakup. But either way, your fifth house, which is all about fun, we already said that. And Sagittarius means the person may be a foreigner. They may be in a foreign country. They may be foreign speaking. But this person has some type of soul connection to you. Possibly a karmic connection to you. But it's Sagittarius energy, which is the ninth house. Sagittarius, that's your higher self, long distance, foreign, philosophy, religion, higher courts, higher laws, religion, class, and culture. Could even be expansion. So you have some type of connection in your 5th house. So fun for you is to travel or to take on foreign things or higher things. And it's at this level, but only towards the end of this season do you meet this person at 25, 28 degrees. And again, like I said, we always have to be careful because that can be addiction and things of that nature. It could also mean you've mastered the situation. You become a master in a situation. So it can only each person would know. So now, at 1 degree, you have Vesta, which is a priestess. But you have to be very careful because wherever you see Vesta, these are the areas in your life that you have to slow down. Or otherwise, like they said, health problems. And remember, this is Virgo. This is the house of health. So what's ever going on in your 2nd house is going on here. And now you see Capricorn, which is going to take you to your 10th house. So all this is earthy signs for some reason. Taurus is an earthy sign. He rules your 2nd house where Virgo is. Virgo is an earthy sign. She rules your 6th house where Capricorn is. And Capricorn rules your 10th house where Taurus is. So you got a lot going on with Capricorn and Saturn energy. And you got a lot of 12s and 13s in this house. So you got some type of connection with the number 13 and the number 12. Now, when you see Neptune with Saturn, maybe you're serious and maybe you're an old soul. Because remember, we're still dealing with the Virgo Mary. And we said that your mother would have a connection with that as well. So maybe that's why you're so serious. Because maybe that's how she might have raised you. But what happens is with Neptune, and Neptune rules Pisces, because if you notice, your 6th house is opposite your 12th house. So your 12th house is trying to get you to heal, to help you heal everything that went on in your 6th house. Because it's a lot that went on in your 6th house. But what happens is Neptune is idealist. So really, Neptune is working with Uranus because Uranus don't like Saturn either. But Saturn is trying to lay that rule down. Saturn is trying to lay that law down. And it could be dad. It could be the father figure here. But it could also be a masculine mother figure. But either way, Neptune is trying to break the walls of Saturn down and rebuild it. Because that's what you're going to need for healing. You got to get rid of all that. Because there's probably a lot of repression there. And it's a lot of stuff. Even anything that you did, because you just were used to doing stuff in the secrets because of the way you was raised, that's got to stop too. Because you're never going to have a relationship with somebody if they're lying to you and you're lying to them and it's all a bunch of secrets. Because sooner or later, them secrets going to come out. Now, some people like to play games. That's why I said I've learned. Some people like to break up, make up, and sleep around and all that. But still, even if they got used to it, you're still going to answer to God. So before you love your husband or your girlfriend or whoever more than you love God, you better love God first. Because he's the one. That person ain't going to be able to help you when that fire start coming your way. And they not going to jump up in front of the fire and take the burns and all that stuff. And even if they did, it's so hot. You know what I'm saying? Don't mess with God. That's a big mistake. And the only reason why you think it's not a mistake because you're under a matrix right now that's about to come down anyway. And they've been lying to you for centuries. All right, so Uranus and Neptune are trying to break down the walls of Saturn so you can get on with your life. But either way, you're going to still be serious-minded in this house. But you just have to be careful because, again, you may have health problems. They already told you that. You may have health problems because of all the stress and repression and everything going on. So Vesta don't like bullies. Vesta is at asteroid at 1 degree. Vesta does not like Saturn, but usually when you see Vesta and Saturn, especially when they're close together, it's an abuse, like an abusive male. See, because the male in your life, he may have some problems with feminine energy as well. He might have some mama issues, some female might have hurt him or something. So he's a little, that's what it's looking like to me. He's a little, repressed too, and he could actually break violent too, because that's how they started all this off. In your first house, which is opposite your 7th house. So if I yeah, your 12th, I said it right. Your 12th house is opposite your 6th house. Your first house is opposite your 7th house. So this is a serious home environment, serious health. They're serious about service, but their reputation is kind of connected to it as well. So a lot of people don't really explain. Well, last time I checked, they don't really explain Vesta as good as they should. It was one website that kind of did, but they don't stay on point. But every now and then you got to recheck because it might be new information. Okay, now this looks like some pretty good information for Vesta. Vesta also deals with the heat in your house, small rooms of confinement, even if you've been arrested, small room and confinement, elevators, any type of energy or heat. Vesta deals with that. All right, give me a moment because I wanna put this in my files. Just give me a moment. I want to do something. All right. Vesta and Capricorn is devoted to history and duty. They believe in discipline and obligation. But they may believe in it, but it was basically pushed on them by somebody. But now that's Saturn. That could be a fatherly influence, but it could also be motherly, a masculine mother. They are organized and capable of great accomplishments. They expect others to share their commitment. They feel responsible, so they are willing to sacrifice themselves for duty and security. But again, I already explained in the 12th house, don't ever sacrifice. You can help out, but don't sacrifice yourself. If they can measure up, if they can't measure up, they feel terribly guilty. And again, this is where, if you have a true understanding of Christianity, Christianity is your friend. It's just that people fuck it up. Now with Christianity, you'll learn about mercy and love and grace and don't feel guilty and Jesus saved it, did it all for you. That's all true. But it's just that you can't keep taking advantage of it. Like Jesus helps get you out of hell and get you over the hump. But once you get over it, you can't keep using it as an excuse to keep sinning anyway. And you say, well, I don't want to be a Christian. Like I'm trying to tell you. You can call it what you want. I'm telling you metaphysics. I'm telling you what you're going to meet, whether you think it or not. See, here's the deal. Let's just say, I'm from Jersey, so we did a lot of fighting out here. Let's just say it is a bully outside. Now, when I go outside, because this is metaphysical, it'd be all kind of shit out there. From animals, drug dealers, you name it. It'd be some type of crazy shit all the time. If I go to the store, it's always going to be some crazy person. So this is because I'm on a righteous course, and your energy attracts other energy. And that's why if you've ever had people come around you trying to suck into you and suck on your energy, that's why. So you got to be careful who you're around and where you're going, all that shit. The more you notice, like in the early stages, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you think I'm nuts. But the more you begin to study and you begin to wake up to, yeah, he's right, that did happen. And I never thought about that. Yeah, all of this didn't happen until I befriended that person. I didn't even want to be that person's friend. They kept coming around. Then you start to wake up and then you can see it. So I know all this stuff. This has been decades in the making. Decades of being trained to do what I do. So you don't have to, there's no reason to feel guilty. Especially, I would never, like I said, I would never carry the weight that my parents put on me because they had their own issues. I don't carry anybody's weight. Why am I here? What is my purpose? Why am I on this planet? Because this is a very dysfunctional planet. You would feel guilty every day. You would be in line and a guy that's supposed to be a nice guy, customer service, he might treat you like crap. So what are you going to do? Feel sad all day? Why did he talk to me like that? I'm a good person. Why are these people so mean to me? So you got to get past it. These people are crazy. This is a demonized planet. We're in a demonized matrix. And how the hell do I get through this without all this crazy stuff? How the hell do I get through this matrix without punching somebody in the face or get myself in trouble with the law? See, that's how you learn how to fight back. That's one way. But you begin to get past all of too much feelings. See, everything has a place, but it has to be balanced. Nothing wrong with feelings, but when you're overly this, then that's when it's a problem, because that's called obsession. So no reason to feel guilty. So they say this person might not challenge authority as long as authority is doing their job. But what I'm trying to tell you, Vesta will. Vesta will definitely stand up to Saturn, because that's what you have. You have a strong Saturn 6th house, and that's a Virgo. They told you that your 3rd house, Lilith conjunct the moon, is a strong motherly presence, and with Virgo energy. And then you see her trying to control the money in the 2nd house. She's trying to control the home environment in the 6th house. So she has to be. So Vesta is saying, okay, somebody has to tell her, time to back up a little bit. Vesta and Capricorn works from within. They can make excellent leaders, but they're very self-critical, and that's because of Virgo. So again, remember what I just said about Messiah. We don't have to be overly critical or overly guilty. The planet is not perfect. So if you meet a nice guy, maybe if you don't let your Lilith energy, if you don't let your Libra or your Virgo energy get the best of you, you might appreciate the nice guy. But if you let your Virgo or your Libra energy, and that Virgo energy includes that mama, then you're going to be finding fault with him, and he's not good enough, and nobody's good enough for my baby, and he needs to be doing that. 20K a year is not going to be enough for us to go on our cruises and stuff like that. Blah, 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 blah. And before you know it, you've broken this man off, and then he'll be another male hating women. So we all got to get our shit together, male and female. That's the yin and the yang. That's true Libra. True Libra is when you're both working together. And like I said, it's Mayat. It's the divine feminine with the divine masculine. We all got to handle our SHIT. Otherwise, like I said, we'll just be going from YouTube channel to YouTube channel, trying to find somebody to make us happy and feel a certain way. But we're not working on nothing. So Vesta's trying to help you in your 6th house focus your energies to yourself, to bring wholeness to yourself and not be bullied by Saturnian energies and stuff like that. And Uranus will overthrow stuff. Uranus will come out of nowhere. Just like you saw that Pluto retrograde, well, Uranus will also come out of nowhere to move that energy away from you. And that's why they're telling you in your 3rd house to communicate. Because if you don't do it, the universe is. So that's the most powerful message I'm going to give you. If you don't deal with this controlling motherly energy, the universe will. So don't be upset if you still don't use that lion energy. They gave you Leo energy to stand up a little bit for yourself. Didn't say you had to be mean or extremely emotional, but that person has got to know that they have to be backed up. So Vesta's trying to help you reconnect with your soul, because she's the priestess. And that's why I keep trying to tell you. We have it twisted because we do everything but what the natal chart tells us to do. You got to get to the point where you put your trust back in the universe, because that's where your power is at. So Vesta is telling you to get back into spirituality and intuition, and not so much into Capricornian or Saturn tradition and religion and practices. So she's with the psychics, the people in the occult, the alternative healers, the therapists, mind technology, positive thinking, manifestation. So Vesta's trying to get you to use the power you have within to create and recreate. And you can use concentrated efforts and positive thoughts. So she's all about spiritual practices, sometimes solitude, because you can learn through meditation, study, and solitude. And dealing with sexual problems that are the result of fear and intimacy. Sometimes it will be a person has trouble with intimacy or fear of sex, and they don't really perform well, or they may have been taught to think sex is dirty. So even if they're married, they're still not really going in. But then you got the super freak. She's the one who mom and dad told her you're going to be a good little Christian girl, and she found a way to get the boys in through the thing, and mom and dad be in one room and she up getting busy and all that. They don't even know boys in the house and all. She's a super freak. So she's going to have to deal with that too, because she's going to bring that same sneaky behavior into her marriage. And the moment her marriage goes a certain way she's not happy with, you best believe she'll be getting freaky. And that's another reason why you see a lot of females getting their freaks on, for the same reasons I'm talking about. This is all dealing with repression. It has nothing to do with men or women. These people are repressed. It starts to do with the family life, stuff their parents went through, and stuff like that. That's why I said, if I knew you all your life, and you wasn't gay the whole time I knew you, now all of a sudden you turn gay, and you're talking about, that's the way I always. No, you wasn't. You was one of the hardest dudes on the block until somebody put that hard rock up in your, hey. Now all of a sudden you're talking about that's the way you were all your life. So we know that's not true. We know that's not true. And they get mad because you tell the truth. But unfortunately, the universe was made in truth. The universe is going to end in truth. And the truth is, anybody out of harmony with their divine purpose won't be part of that. So my job is to tell you that. It's metaphysics. It's wherever you go. No matter where you go, they're telling you that. That's why you should know what's true. You can go to Buddhists. They'll tell you that. Even India got Kali. So somebody from India can't tell me what I'm saying is wrong, because they got Kali. Kali is that female. When she comes, she kills you. She dances on you while you're dead. She cuts your head off. She turns your head. She takes all the scalps and turns it into pyramids. Now, when can Kali not touch you? Kali cannot touch you if you have good karma. Kali cannot touch you if you have good aura around you. But if you have any bad karma or bad aura or stuff around you, that's what she's going to do to you. So that's the same thing you hear in the Bible. It's just they call it Kali. So it's metaphysics, it's everything, it's the truth. So if this person doesn't use their Vesta correctly, then they're going to be overdoing it, overworking, going into repression, sexual issues, and it's going to be health issues. So this person's got to learn how to use that Vesta energy. And Vesta is with Virgo. Vesta and Virgo work together anyway. So she has a strong feminine presence on her chart. She's got a divine feminine presence that is trying to more or less bully her. But then she has another feminine presence. And rather, they could both be divine. So I don't mean no difference. It could both be divine. But it's trying to tell them to get away from it and develop yourself. So Vesta's trying to heal you sexually, mentally, spiritually, physically, and also financially, because that's why you got Virgo in that second house. So the implication is this person or these people around you have even affected you financially. See, even they say the laws of the universe. Now I'm at Carol Barbeau, Carol BARBEAU.com. All one word, Carol Barbeau, BarbeAU.com, all one word. So Vesta is the goddess or priestess holding the laws of justice, truth, and balance when she's in Capricorn. Healing here is often done through a powerful force of the laws of the universe. That's what I'm trying to teach you. Vesta in Capricorn knows that to show others the road, you have to align yourself not only with man's law, but with higher power, just like I'm telling you, and that the rules must be obeyed in order to create order. So anybody can talk tough. Oh, F him, I'll go where I want to. I'll sleep with whoever I want. Nobody's going to tell me, you don't know me, you don't know my life. And that'll be the same person say, oh, help me, I'm burning in hell, help me. Somebody get some water, please. Look, I came up from Jersey. I'm from the freaking. Listen, I seen so many tough guys get messed up running their mouth. This ain't about thinking you tough when you're really not. This is about listening to what the universe is trying to tell you. There's a reason why you came here, a reason why you contacted me, and there's a reason why people are going to hear this video. Now, they got to make a choice. That's between them and the universe. And it's the reason why all them other people that ran off the channel, why if they don't get their stuff together in harmony with the universe, even if you did have your twin, what I'm telling you you're not going to do because you're not doing it the universe's way. You're trying to do it on your own strength. This is submitting to the universe to be one with your twin. So you ain't gonna see it anyway. That's how I feel. And if it is, it's short-lived. Anybody can have sex. You can have sex with a prostitute. You can have great sex with a prostitute. What good is it if you and your twin keep meeting just to have sex, but you keep going into separation? That's silly. Vesta in Capricorn is a strong leadership and carries a harsh judgment of self with it often. So this person's got to stop criticizing himself. See, that's my difference. I don't care. See, I have no problem. If my mom got some issues, I'm going to admit it because I'm not going to be crazy my whole life because she got issues. Because she could work on her issues too. And it's a family thing, so like I said, we all help each other. And she was getting way too beside herself to the point even my sister had to tell her, okay, that's enough. So your family can help you get yourself together as well. Because otherwise you're dealing with wordy emotions and all kind of stuff. And you're going to always find a reason to have some type of drama. And you're going to be that way until you learn how to grow up and get a little better grip on this emotion. Because I know it's a lot of emotions, but you still have to grow up. It's a balance. Everything has to be balanced. Yin and yang. All right. So that was good. Thank the universe for that information. That was very powerful for Vesta. So that really is your entire sixth house. Everything else is about opposing the Saturnian energy. Let's do it. 13 degrees Saturn. And again, they got 13 and 12 in that house for a big reason. You might even have a closeness with the number 25 as well. Because 13 and 12 is 25. And then that breaks down 2 plus 5 is 7. All right, 13 degrees Saturn. Let me do it again. 13 degrees Capricorn. Refined, devoted, and calculating character, endowed with great artistic gifts. Now listen, this is most important because they say refined. If they're saying refine, that means you went through something to refine you. But it says in the first part of life, one is driven by envy and selfish objectives, and therefore, in order to reach one's artistic goals, one shows much dedication and respect to one's mentors. So you will have mentors, and I'd be one of those right now. Once success, fame, and wealth are achieved, probably in music, the cinema, or philosophy, one becomes gentle and benevolent. So once they start to see success, they're not as stressed out. In the natal chart, the moon is in conjunction. If in the natal chart the moon is in conjunction with this degree, it heralds honor and unexpected riches, which are far above one's original social status. So, the moon is nowhere near this planet or degree. All right, 12 degrees, Neptune. (12 degrees Capricorn). Aggressive, sarcastic, and manipulative character. With divide and rule as a motto, one stirs up arguments and fights, and one instills distrust and suspicion, supposedly in order to help people discover the truth, but actually to favor one's self-interest. If the natal chart indicates high moral principles, one puts sharp intelligence at the service of the public good. All right. Aquarius is going to be it's not going to be a conventional relationship. This is your relationship house, the 7th house. Partnerships, contracts, possibly open enemies. Could be a serious relationship, but doesn't have to be. But it's not. It's going to be alternative. It's not going to be what people would consider normal. It's going to be Aquarius is going to be abnormal relationship. Now, part of fortune is at 29 degrees, but that's almost at the end. So I would love to see somebody who will tell me what part of fortune at 29 degrees means. Bill Clinton's part of fortune is 29 degrees and 49 minutes. Minutes. Just bear with me, y'all, because I'm going to see if I can find something. Like I said, just let me do a little bit. So when you see 29 degrees, it is the ending of events in the life, such as relationships, leaving a place of residence, and so forth, with predictive astrology, such as solar and lunar returns. So it basically predicted on your chart in the relationship sector an ending. This is daykeeperjournal.com. Explosive crashes and declines of the 29 kind. I'm just reading this over. I believe this is the third deacon. Third deacon issues are always those which happen beyond our control. In business, third deacon information is always about the marketplace or about world social events which affect the marketplace. All right. He's showing you how all these 29 degrees mean an impactful event. But I just wanted him to get specific, which I don't think he's going to do. Nope. He's saying 29 degrees Aquarius. I had something to do with the personal versus the systematical. Now, if I was to try to make some application, because the seventh house, it's got to be weak, otherwise it ain't gonna work. See, the first house is I am, and that's cool because that's Aries in the first house, but it can never be like a selfish in the seventh house. But right now, it's just not enough information to go any further. But I'm still looking around, so just give me a moment. I think we already looked at this. All right. Just give me a moment. We're going to read, it's called Good Fortune and Part of Fortune. Good fortune in the 7th house. This person was born soon after a full moon. Very idealistic person. But we already said that because Libra rules this house, and Libra can be in the fantasy world. So they want to see the best in everything, but when they start to see reality, they start to withdraw. They say this person would like to know their purpose in life, and they did because they requested it. Good fortune in the 7th house says you might end up in a relationship with a wealthy person. But see, the tough part is this is at the last, it's at 29 degrees. Like the last decan before you're leaving anyway. So that's what I'm saying. And it's the implication is something critical is going to happen. And Aquarius is also idealistic. See, this isn't good as far as reality, because Libra can be real idealistic, but so can then Aquarius starts. Aquarius is idealistic, innovative, and unique, because this is good fortune in Aquarius. So this person's gonna try to make some type of contribution or invention that is beneficial to all. But for some reason, towards the end of this relationship, see, it's karmic. Now let me tell you how I'm saying it's a karmic relationship. Because I was saying, why would they do that? I was saying, why would they give you this relationship and then take it away? It's karmic. But look back, the first time you see Uranus rules Aquarius, when you see Uranus, it's with Capricorn and Saturn. That's karma. It's a karmic relationship they're talking about, because it's going to end dramatically. Now, what I'm trying to tell you, which I try to mind my business and stay in my lane, but at the end of the day, sometimes you will meet somebody. You might meet some lesbian, some lover, Helmo or something, but it's karmic relationship, and that's why you'll be with that person. All of a sudden, it'll end just like that. That makes total sense, because it ends kind of drastically, because it wasn't meant to be eternal and all that. It was just some type of karmic stuff. And if you really want to be honest, you don't know what you were in a previous life. You're just assuming you were a male. You could have been a female. If you're Hindu and Indians, you believe in India, you believe that we go from animals to humans and stuff. So that's what that type of relationship they're going to have with that Aquarius energy or Uranus energy. And because Saturn's there, it could be the same person. Could be a domineering male or a domineering female. And don't forget that now you're talking about your 11th house. When you're talking about Aquarius and Uranus, you're actually talking about your 11th house. And then you got Mars there, which means more intensity. But Gemini. So Gemini takes you right back to the 3rd house, everything we said. So you got some 3rd house, 7th house issues going on as well. So you might have some mama issues and then relationship issues. But I'm telling you, the relationship issues are directly connected to the mama issues, and it's inside of your head as well. I'm Coeli. And my twin is the same thing. Because they don't even know each other. But I've seen too many times when they were doing things that was almost at the same time and stuff. So this is higher than us. It's metaphysics. That's why people have to learn metaphysics and stop being so childish. And you just want to stay at one level. And even that level is not good enough. Because it's a baby level. It's an immature level where you're willing to spend money and stuff like that for somebody who's lying to you. For somebody who's busting their ass to help you, you treat that person like garbage. That's somebody that's immature, really immature. And then the karma comes and gets you. This is what if you understand the universe, the karma gets you for that. You're not going. What you're looking for, you're never going to get because you're fighting against it. Because you don't obey the universe. You don't obey the real people that the universe sends, and you're going to do it your way. You're going to make it your way. And you're having sex with all kind of people, You're going to pay for all that. So that's a real natal chart reading. That's a real astrological reading, not a bullshit reading based on some just one aspect. That could never be a real reading because it's not extensive. It's just like they could tell you, oh, I see you on Tuesday next week I'm gonna meet this female. Yes, everything will go well. Yes, and they'll describe a female, and you're like, wow, that's awesome. I finally found love. Years of waiting, finally. Wow, awesome. But without the natal chart, you can find out that that person's a freaking serial killer or something. I mean, without the natal chart, you're just getting one aspect of that meeting. And for some people are so desperate, that's all they want. And then they're like, oh, and then when everything falls, like when that person hurts them, then they go, I don't mess with astrology no more. I don't mess with psychics no more. Because I met this person, because they never want to take responsibility. You should have got the real reading on your chart. Like, no disrespect to Thomas More, a friend of mine, but he had to learn the hard way. Like Thomas, you're only asking for one house where your soulmate's at. You need to get the full reading. He didn't want to listen. He just in love. He was floating in the clouds. Oh, shut up, Gat. You always want to mess up everybody's happiness. Shut up. He's floating in the clouds until that girl destroyed his ass. And he could have found that out on the chart. The chart would have told him this is like what you see right here. This is not going to last. Now, you might still go to it for experience, but it's gonna be a dramatic ending at 29 degrees. And it takes you right into your purpose, though. So it's actually going to help you fight your purpose, which is a high degree psychic. This is Pisces in Scorpio. The 8th house is ruled by Scorpio. And Pallas is going to help you be able to see all those signs. So you're going to be like an excellent psychic. And look at your Mercury at 22 degrees. And then it takes you into a new love at 0 degrees. Into your 9th house. And I told you the 9th house is ruled by Sagittarius, which is the higher power. And it's some type of Leo, Aries energy, which is going to be your love. Your love is going to be some type, and that's your vertex. It's going to be some type of Leo, Aries, Sagittarius energy. And that's where you're going to get your nurturing and everything. But that's the higher self or the more mature self. And remember, this is about travel and long distance travel. It might even be over the internet. Now, it could be the same person. Sometimes when you see a placement like that in a 9th house, it's a second marriage, or you broke up with the person and then got back together. But it does look like y'all two going to have a lot of drama, primarily based on immaturity and not wanting to be deep with a person, like really committed to the person. And you're still going to want to be in a relationship, but you're still going to want to be your independence at the same time. So it's going to be a lot of problems, a lot of stuff dealing with mama issues is going to be there. But there will be a reconnect with either this person or somebody else. But it looks like it's the same person where you're more mature. And that's your sun sign, Aries. And I know if I had your twins chart, I would see a strong Aries presence on that chart, or a strong Leo or Sagittarius presence on their chart. And you keep seeing a lot of 22s on your chart too. That's the twin flame number, 1111, the angelic number, but it's also the twin flames. All right, I'll be back in a moment. All right. Now again, whatever's going on in your 8th house is still going to have something to do with your 4th house, because your 8th house ruler is Scorpio, but this is highly psychic, and it could be more than one psychic person. And that's why sometimes a mother be like all psychic and stuff, but they can be a master. Like they could be a master manipulator, master get inside your head, play with you. Like you just have to understand this stuff, because once you understand it, you can free yourself from it. Because I know my mom, if she could drive you crazy, she'll do it. And I got proof. Like my father, he died with her. He just got out the hospital, but they had a terrible relationship. There's a lot of violence, all kind of stuff. All that stuff I read. This is what you're looking at. Doesn't necessarily mean on this chart, but this is what you're going to see. Scorpio in the 4th house, all stuff in this house. This is an 8th house, 12th house person, because Pisces rules the 12th house, Scorpio rules the 8th house, and all that's in the family, which is why they put the Cancer family in the 12th. So she's got to come to grips with that. And it's not as hard as it seems. It just seems that way because people are caught up with their emotions and stuff. You got to learn how to balance out. And I had to teach my sister the same thing. My younger sister's one tough cookie. My older sister, she was tough too, but she could beat the shit out of you. I saw her beat men up. She's I know a lot of gangsters and thugs, but wasn't nobody more gangster than my sister. Even the toughest dude on my block hit me one day and she beat him. He picked something up to fight her and she still beat him. He started crying. And he was like one of, you said, man, you must have a wimpy neighborhood. Well, we wasn't the toughest neighborhood, I'll admit that, but he was tough for our neighborhood, but we wasn't like the hardcore thugs. Plus, when I took the neighborhood over, I turned it into comedy. Because if it's not fun, I don't want to do it. So you got to have comedy. Because I would go crazy without comedy. Now, you got another guy here named Dolo, King of the Moors. If you notice, he got the same type of comedy too. Because you won't make it in this world, especially this world hates a male of color. Hates it. And they'll try to act like we got the problem, but we don't have a problem. But like I keep trying to tell you about metaphysics, that's why I have a spiritual channel as well as other channels, because all this is about to change. So the more you can bring your life in harmony with what's really on your natal chart and not what you were taught by these liars that gave you their interpretation in the Bible and all this bull, you're bettering yourself. Otherwise, that's what you're going to have. It looks like a powerful mother, psychic abilities, and she could say little things to get under your skin, and she could set you up, and she could say one thing and you do it, and then she'll change it on you and say she didn't say it. She'll fuck your mind all up. And somebody like me has got to try to help you. I've never been the bad guy. How can I be the bad guy when I'm giving all these services where everybody else is getting hundreds and hundreds of dollars for their services, and I'm keeping my prices so low? And that's actually probably detrimental to me. I'm trying to help people, but really you're dealing with people that really want to be lied to and ripped off and in broken bad relationships. So it is what it is. So that's what you're saying. That's what you're saying here. But it is your true north node. Part of your life purpose is to be psychic. To have these skills, great communication skills as well with Mercury. And why is that necessary? Because they're trying to help you in your 3rd house that has issues. And they're once again telling you Mercury is going to affect your 3rd house because it rules Gemini, but it's also going to affect your 8th house because Scorpio rules your 8th house and Mercury is in your 8th house ruled by Scorpio. So they're still encouraging you to speak up for yourself. And they gave you the Aries lion energy to do that. So, love for you, Venus is love, finances, diplomacy, friendship, fun, forgiveness, culture, all that's in your 9th house, but it's going to be a new beginning. So that's why if you notice, when you see those 29s and 28s, these are things ending. And they just look volatile to me to a certain degree. They look volatile because even your Your Leo, which rules the 5th house, is in Aries, and that's ruled by Mars. And then when you go to your 11th house, which connects to your 5th house, opposes it, you still got Mars. So you're going to finally enter a phase where you actually begin to see love with that Sagittarius energy of the 9th house. But it may be after breakups that you get back together. But again, until you learn how to stand up for yourself, that's why you got a strong Mercury presence on your chart and you have a strong Leo presence on your chart, because you learn how to take courage and speak up for yourself. Because a lot of stuff that what you are, what you did, or what you became was because you were always kind of overpowered by what looks like that motherly energy, and it kind of trains you to, you know, still get what you want, but do it a sneaky way. Because Scorpio is all about secrets and mysteries and stuff. And now the universe is trying to get you to come where? Come into the light, going right into your sun sign. And Aries used to rule Scorpio. I mean, Mars used to rule Scorpio. Now Mars rules Aries. So now your 9th house, like I said, goes back to that Leo energy. Goes back to that Sagittarius energy in the 5th house, Leo energy in the 1st, all that. So this is a love story in the making. But it just, if it's the same person, which it looks like it is, it's not going to go too well in the first place. Because you're going to have to learn how to stand up for yourself. And this is why Pluto has to take that person out. Because it's probably going to be a person. And I hate to put it that way, but it's almost like an assassination. Because you're not going to start to stand on your own feet until that person is moved out the way. But the universe is advising you to do it. The universe is telling you to stand up to that moon energy, that I Mom Coeli. But whether you choose, but if you don't stand up to it, then the universe will take it out with Pluto retrograde. This is why you want to get a natal chart done by an expert. It's not that I'm bragging, but it just upsets me to see that so many people are so comfortable with going to people that are just lying to them. Or they're not giving you the whole story. Your natal chart is going to tell you the whole story. And you do get updates because of the fact everything changes above you. So if everything's as above, so below. So things are changing above you. So of course your chart's going to change based on what's going on above you. Now this chart is consistent. That'll never change. This is what it was at birth, at her birth. But everything else around her is changing. So that's why you get that. That's why you get your updates however you do it. I'm just telling you what you should do. You got to make your final decision. Now, just to make perfectly clear, because you'll have a lot of people that I'll do all this and then they'll want more. I can't give you more than I just gave you everything. So it does require you to sit down, maybe take some notes or reflections. Now, if you want an additional service, I'm cool with that. But I can't just keep giving all my time because I just gave you a lot of time and I gave you the full report. So you have a lot of information. So you have to find time to listen to it, take notes, rewind if you have to, because you just, when you say rewind, you think of like an audio tape. But you still can rewind even with the video. Take your little cursor and pull it back. So that's what it is. Now, medium Coeli is also your part of your purpose, part of your true life purpose. So even your 8th house is connected to your 10th house, which is still going to be somewhat connected to your 12th house. And your career with Taurus, it could be anything in finance, health. It might even be massages for all I know. It could be anything sensual. But your 2nd house is ruled by Taurus. Your 2nd house is ruled by Taurus. And that's where Virgo is. So even your career is going to have something to do with healing. And it could be alternative healing. It could be massages. Because Taurus is very sensual and it likes to eat too. Likes food, likes massages. And it's going to have something to do with your 8th house. Because medium Coeli is another aspect of your true north node. And that true north node looks like a horseshoe. That's your life purpose, why you're here. The next asteroid is Pallas. It looks like a diamond. Pallas is going to help you see patterns when you're doing your psychic work. So I would kind of say your 8th house has a lot to do with your 2nd house, which has to do with that spirituality, that psychic work. Now your 11th house is all about friendships, groups, associations. Now, yeah, because usually like that makes a lot of sense to me. So if you want to make money, if you're not already doing your divine purpose, get in harmony with your divine purpose, your life purpose, because that's where they make your money from. You make the money from the community, and that's what your 11th house is dealing with. And it even has Gemini in there, meaning you'll be very creative. And remember, Gemini siblings, community around you, which could include family, a younger education, younger ones. Now, I just don't know why they would put Mars there. So that's an interesting one. And you got a lot of twos in that house too. And plus Jupiter is like 2 plus 2 is 4. It looks just like a 4. But there's a reason why they do that. So like when the Bible talks a lot about the Jew or the Jews, that's like Jupiter. And it's the number 4. But the Bible is always talking about everything in twos. The 2 angels came down and destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, 2 cities, and the number 2 is the angelic number of 4. So that's why I said you can't separate it. When you see people separating it, they're lying to you. They're dividing and conquer. But it'll always be all one. And a truly spiritual person really should be able to go anywhere on the planet. Anywhere on the planet with its spirituality or metaphysics, or they should be able to walk through it with no problem. Seven degrees, Gemini. Because we got to find out about that Mars. Hardworking, rebellious, and anxious character, endowed with acute sense of honor and duty. So that's a lot like me. One undergoes destructive events such as beyond one's control, and that's all those 28s and 29s on your chart. But one barely gets back on one's feet. But one bravely gets back on one's feet. So that's why I said everything you went through for a reason. Now you gotta learn how to apply it. You gotta become one with the universe because that's what they're telling you to do. Success, fame, and wealth are achieved in one's field of competence, particularly in the military and in all occupations related to fire, aviation, or in careers requiring creativity and eloquence. Conjugal life is often plagued by discord, which you guys will start to get. The more you mature, the better off you'll have with that. And no support whatsoever is to be expected from the husband or the wife. Deep. Mars conjunct Jupiter, because this is one unique placement. This is astromatrix.org. Give me a second. I was reading it and this stupid pop-up came. They're letting you know with Jupiter conjunct Mars, you're going to have much more energy in this house, more ambition. You'll make a good leader, inspiring courage and confidence in others. You usually enjoy good health and high vitality. You're a lot more courageous, brave, and fearless of taking risks and ignoring potential negative consequences. It is a good aspect to have, but it can have some drawbacks. You may overextend yourself, especially when you are getting older, and can cause yourself some physical injuries by doing too much sports or exercise. You are energetic, resourceful, frank, outspoken, pioneering, and adventurous. But it says you will have an entrepreneurial attitude toward business ventures. You stand up for your beliefs and will be a formidable opponent in any kind of battle or competition. You are self-confident and have a strong will to succeed. They said you might find yourself in broadcasting, and believe it or not, even the YouTube channel is broadcasting. Teaching, travel, marketing, publicity, advertising, or an internet business. So they're definitely showing you a business. They're definitely showing you have a business, but that Mars is there for a reason. And we're going to find that reason out. So this person may be very athletic. So your blood ruled by Mars and your health, or you're very protected from harm in these areas. And they say you were very direct. But that had to be a change, right? Because the whole natal chart is like, oh, you need to speak up for yourself. Stop letting your mother bully you. And it looks like you got somebody else bullying you in a relationship. So something is going to happen, and they're going to, because that's what happened to me. Because my mom, if she could drive your ass crazy, she will. Ask my brother-in-law. He was in the crazy house. They tried to put me in the crazy house, but I said, oh, no, I saw what y'all did to daddy. You ain't going to do it to me. I just told her yesterday. I said, ain't nobody driving me crazy. I said, I'm not going to no early grave for nobody. And I told her again, you got to get yourself together because you want something. I had to tell her, then my sister had to tell her too. You getting a little beside yourself. Mars is also a separative, aggressive, and ego function. And Jupiter overdoes things, so you need to guard against excesses, overindulgences, or hasty actions you would regret later on. You enjoy life and are a real adventurer and probably like to speculate, gamble, and just throw yourself into traveling. You may, however, have an exaggerated view of just how important your opinions are and spread yourself too thin in many different activities and directions. So now, Gemini rules the third house. In your third house, you have what they called the virgin and the whore. The mother and the anti-mother. And then Libra's there. So when we go to your seventh house, which is ruled by Libra, you see Aquarius. But Aquarius, that's what they're talking about. Now I got it. They're talking, I told you, they're talking about the Aquarius. I said Uranus and Aquarius. So that Aquarius energy. So it's almost like they're telling you to stand up to the person. They're really telling you to stand up to both of them. That's why you got the Mars there. And that takes you back to your first house where it's ruled by Mars. Mars rules Aries and you got Leo there. So they're basically telling you to stand up to Ma Dukes who be bullying you. And who's ever that other in that relationship sector. And they're bullying you. And they're telling you to, because until you stand up for yourself, you're not going to have a twin relationship. That's Gemini. It's not going to really be a relationship because you're getting bullied. It's not equal. It's not twin. And it's not going to be Libra either. You see how they're talking to her? They're not going to be Libra. They're really telling her. But that's because they got plans for her. Like, I hate when I see people with such great charts and they keep going back to low energy. You understand? When it's so much better than that. It's so depressing. And they want me to stop. Like, I'm supposed to come low because you guys don't want to come high. It ain't happening, baby. Let me say what I'm going to do for you guys before we leave. Let me show you where Leo is on the space chart. Everybody talking about astrology and where my lover at and twin flames and all that childhood stuff. That's basic. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it, but it's basic. You're so much more than that. But you act like you want the universe to help you, but when the universe tells you the truth, you run to somebody else that talks to you like a baby, and you pay that person more money and everything. So childish. So childish. So now let's just see. Let's just get one of the most recent charts. Let me just do that. Let me go get the most recent chart. There you go. Right at the ascendant. Right at the ascendant, you see Leo with the true north node. And her ascendant is Leo. So if the universe ain't talking to her, who is? Y'all just remember, my name is Gary. I'm from New Jersey. And I'm a Leo. And if y'all want the real deal, you need to grow up just a little bit and learn how to listen to the man who's talking from the stars, as above, so below. All of y'all need to lighten up and float. Float on. Yeah. You need to float on. Because y'all be on some silly stuff. I'm so high, it just feel good. You don't know how many people, like I said, I go outside and somebody creeping. And as soon as I came out, they trying to act like somehow I'm out there. You on the side of my house creeping. If you walking up the street, you walking up the street. If you riding a bike up the street, you riding a bike up the street. If you in a car going up the street, you going up the street. So why is it that you creeping so much that I couldn't even detect you, even though I wasn't looking to make sure? But as soon as I walk out here, you creeping on the side, but you gonna act like I'm the one creeping you. You by my house. You creeping on me. Creepy. Ha ha. Alright, so I'm gonna show you. This will be the last picture y'all see in the video. Will be where everything is. Everything is timed and dated. So you can see it in the ascendant. And the true north node is in Leo with Keras for nurturing, which nurturing is a form of healing. You need to bring yourself in harmony with the chart and stop acting like love and light, but you don't do love and light. Oh, I want to find out what the stars say. No, you don't. You want the stars to agree with what you're talking about. And if the stars say anything you don't want to hear, you run to somebody else. So stop the BS. All right. Give me one moment. So that's the situation. Now I got to log up out of here. If I'm not logged in, I got to see. All right, I'm out. All right, so this will conclude. So your life purpose is in the psychic field, helping others, healing others. Your money sector will only if you do what you were told, because that's all where Jupiter is. And even your Venus, which could be money, but it's only at 0 degrees. So they're saying you're a novice, you're a newbie. So you got to really get this, whatever I told you. Because everything ain't going to get better in your love life, fun, and finance. It's not going to get better till you stand up for yourself. Use that Leo energy and the Aries energy. That Mars energy. That Sun energy. Because your sun sign is Aries. So they really want you to stand up for yourself. They looking at you like, well, we deliberately made you the way you are. But you got to stand up. So they sent a lion in. And I proved that beyond a shadow of a doubt. They sent a lion in to get you to realize you got to stand up and take your power. If you did an Archangel card reading, I guarantee Raziel would show up. Because Raziel going to say, take back your power. And that's Leo. Sun sign, the sun rules Leo too, but in Aries at 3 degrees. Now we are going to look at 3 degrees Aries just to see what the sun is trying to tell you. And then that will conclude. Now we got a lot of sales going on. People check me out. If you got any questions, write in the description box. You can contact me. Some people just want to get started. That's also in the description box. And you can always check out the sales. You can get the service and price list. You can request it. And you can also go on for any sales. But there's other sales on the price list too. You can also see the sales out here on the channel. Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. And we're going to end this video with the number 3. 3 degrees Aries. And see what that message is. Oh, come on now. Where did this come from? Alright, let's do it again. Because I'm ready to get up out of here, man. 3 degrees. Pragmatic, modest, unsophisticated character. That's what I want. In spite of a great natural wisdom, but that's what I say. I can see it on your chart. One has no inclination for studies because she's been used to being bullied and probably be mind fucked by her mom. Because my mother tries to do the same thing to me. You got to toughen up. Not that they're bad people, but they don't even know what they're doing. This is metaphysical. Like if you want to see it in the Bible, I just told you. Psalm 69, Psalms 23, and 2 Corinthians chapter 12, where Paul starts getting attacked by a messenger of Satan. And he asked God for help, and God said, my grace is sufficient. So one minute, God is telling Paul all his supernatural revelations in paradise. The next minute, he's allowing Paul to get beat up by his messenger of Satan and won't help him. And then you see it again when Jesus gets baptized one minute, Matthew 3. But in Matthew 4, the same God takes Jesus to be tempted of the devil. And then when you see the book of Job, Job chapter 1, it says, isn't Job the most righteous man? And then he tells Satan to go down there and test him, take everything from him, which Satan does, kills his kids and everything. Just don't take his life. So this is real life. So to think they don't go together is silly. You're actually weakening yourself. And this is what most people do. I don't need to hear all that. I don't even believe in all that. I just want to know about my twin. I just want to know about my job. So you're running and putting all this stuff before God. And this is the person that's going to decide whether you go to heaven and hell. So you kind of know where you're going. Because you ain't put God first like he told you to. So it's not a joke. And so God is going to make sure that despite all the suffering, everything we lose, that there will be people out here to tell you the truth and oppose anybody that's lying to you. Whether you like it or not. Because we're trying to save you from eternal damnation. Now let's continue. Pragmatic, modest, and unsophisticated character in spite of a great natural wisdom. One has no inclination for studies. One is driven by the sense of honor and by genuine generosity. The man hidden in the shrubs is not necessarily ill-intended. The man hidden in the shrubs is not necessarily ill-intended. So somebody needs to tell that guy that was at the White House hiding behind the bushes. He may just be an original and independent person who prefers to remain out of the mainstream. Sounds a lot like me. In the lifetime, one can expect at least one major encounter which brings about crucial events. We've already talked about those. the positive or negative outcome of which depends on the natal chart. All occupations related to security, such as the police, the military, they keep aligning this person with the military, or the law, are highly favored. They even said law because she has a lot of Scorpio there, and that's higher law. But Libra's law too. If in the natal chart Mars is on this degree and forms hard aspects with the sun and the moon, he may portend a violent death. Alright, so Mars would have to be on 3 degrees. Where are you, Mars? It's not. Aspects with the sun. I think it's the sun. I'm trying to find it. Hard aspects with the sun and moon. I wouldn't say it does. But it's connected to the moon because of Gemini. And it's connected to the sun because of Aries. Well, they already warned you about violence. So I'm going to tell you. I'm going to say yeah. So you got to be careful. Because they said, I'm going to read it again. Because your Mars is connecting you to Aries, which is where the sun is. That's your sun sign. And then Gemini is connecting you to the 3rd house where your moon is. So it is aspected. All right, give me a second. If on a natal chart, Mars is in this degree and forms a hard aspect with the sun and the moon, he may portend a violent death. But that violence is because they said there was some type of violence coming out the 1st house. So like I said, I'll tell you right now, you never have to take an argument to somebody kicking your ass. Like I keep chopping around women all my life. I mean, like this is how men do it. When men is fighting and getting closer to fighting, they already know somebody might lose this fight. I don't want to get punched in the face. It don't mean they punks or nothing, but a lot of times men will get up in their face and talk crazy, but when they really realize that other guy is ready to go, you'll see one guy begin to back up because he really don't want the heat. He don't really want to fight. He don't need to fight. He ain't trying to lose. He not trying to get embarrassed. He don't want his face messed up. And he might even like the guy. They just might just be arguing. So it's not, they don't want to take it to that level. They'll back up. But with a female, especially when it's with a dude, in her mind, she thinks he ain't supposed to hit me. So she'll keep pushing. And then when that nigga beat the shit out of her, now she can play the victim card. Because now she can call everybody. And now he's the most terrible guy in the world. But they didn't see the whole video how she provoked the whole shit. I grew up with this my whole life. So you're not telling me nothing I don't already know or have experience. So what I'm trying to tell females, you're already hearing violence on your chart. So if you're hearing violence on your chart, you may have a violent death. Then you don't have to provoke it. Because I would just be quiet. I'm not necessarily scared of nobody, but I don't need to get no fights. I don't need to see no police. I don't need nobody punching me in my eye. I don't need that crap. You understand? So I know how to make my point without pressing somebody to the point of don't want to do bodily harm to me or worse. So all these things are why you get your natal chart done. And you get it done by an expert because somebody else is going to tell you some crazy stuff. Like one lady, she charges $150 for just one natal chart. She don't talk about none of the stuff I talk about. So you're going to spend some, I like her personality because I like her tone. I don't like his tone. So you just spend $150 and you still ain't going to know what the F is going on in your life. You still ain't going to understand why mine was that way or why this is. So you guys got to wake up, got to become a little bit more mature. I'm not the enemy. I'm actually trying to help. It is what it is, but we can't water down the truth just to go by somebody's feelings and stuff like that. You have to know what the universe is telling you so you can bring your life in harmony with your real life purpose, not this YouTube Looney Tunes junk. Get your real life purpose, and then you will see the joy that you can have in the world because you'll deal with your life better, and you won't be dealing with it on a third level, third degree, 3-year-old, third grade, 5th grade, 7th grade level. You'll be dealing with your problems like an adult, and you'll have better results. Because when you act more like an adult, people have to respect you more like an adult. See, I don't have these baby day problems because I let people know immediately we're not going to play that game. And unfortunately, I had to do that recently with my Dukes. We're not going to go on that where you're just making stuff up just to get attention to yourself. because other people are trying to get things done with their lives, and you are beginning to override everybody, and everybody's feeling uncomfortable right now. Like, this is the woman that started so much trouble in the family, but now the family has changed because some of the people that used to support her have died. She's a lot older, so no, she can't be nowhere near as tough as she, but she was one tough cookie. So now people are like, listen, you're going to have to stop with all that. But that's cool. She's still well taken care of. But it's kind of like when you're in a gang and you had a gangster and they was just doing crazy shit. But now the gang is changing. People are changing. And we know we lost a lot of good soldiers because of you, because you're crazy. You like to start trouble with, we don't need trouble started. And we lost a lot of good soldiers. So now you're getting older and somebody's telling you you're going to have to stand down. Now the gangster going to try to hold their spot. So they might try to duke it out. But this new dude, he got more energy. And that gangster's still going to fight. It's going to be a good fight. But at the end, the new dude going to win. And the gang is down with the new dude because they know this old dude, the older person, they cause too much drama anyway. And it's just your time to move on. You can still be in the gang, but you can't be leader because you're not going to mess up everybody's life with that craziness. You got a lot of carnage. Your resume is really, you got a lot of carnage. So you have to slow down. Now, we're still looking out for you. You're still going to be healthy. We'll make sure you have whatever you need. It's all love. But we're not going to go through that psycho stuff no more. No more psycho bitches. Not coming out of your mouth. Because everybody know now that everything's messed up because of the divisions and everything they did. And if y'all were listening when I was reading, they said these people are manipulative and they rule with divide and conquer. They divide people to make sure that they take the rulership. So these are people that got evil inside of them and they really need to get deliverance. But since they don't, we have to help them a little bit. We have to put gauges. You're not going to be able to do this. You're not going to be able to do that. Or we're not going to sit here and hear no pity party. Nothing wrong with you. You've been to 4 or 5 doctors. They all agree there's nothing wrong with you. You're going to have to stop all this crazy stuff because you're wearing us out with it. And that's it. So this is Gat. It's been a pleasure. God bless.